Please don't hear any of this, Brad.
All right, we ready? You hitting it? Tell me when we're rolling. No, we've been rolling. God damn.
We're Googling over here.
All right.
To nerd sports now, people.
Exactly.
Look out. Do you fear death?
Oh, one of the greatest lines of all time.
I've got a job to it. I've got a job to it.
Kind of like whistles at her, so Dad looks over and the guy's going. And Dad's like, I got the fuck out of there. I was like, oh man, you didn't partake? I thought that was part of the mountain biking community, that y'all just went out there and had sex together in your tight shorts. But
Literally making me 30 sides of red sauce. He just hangs it back up.
So that's what I was doing wrong the first time.
that's what you were doing wrong.
Big Pharma's turning the frogs gay, and it's coming after your kids.
And they're going to make them incredibly happy.
Infowars.com.
Listened to so much. Are you...
Are you ready?
I suppose.
That's as good as it's gonna get.
Haven't I seen you here before? Maybe you look like someone else. Silhouette like the devil, but your eyes are blue for me to care. Wonder if you notice my face. Are you still staring at that band? My emotions are running wild, like a freight train out of nowhere. I buy you a drink, but I don't know your brand. So here's to you, here's to me, best of friends that will always be. And if perhaps pretend to disagree, oh, here's to me. Mr. Bartender, pour me a shot once more to drown my cares and fears away. 'Cause I'm down to my last cigarette and it's broken. Well, I guess I didn't need the damn thing anyway. She just walked by my table and she gave me a second glance. Eyes followed her to the bathroom door. She's talking to another man. I just lost my chance. Hey bartender, I'll have two more. Oh, here's to you, here's to me, best of friends, matter we'll always be. And if perhaps we tend to disagree, come on. Oh, here's to me. Here's to you, here's to me, and best of friends, no matter we'll always be. If perhaps we tend to disagree,
There it is, man.
There it is. That sounded good, boys.
Thank you, sir.
I haven't heard you play a ton, but every time I hear Jeff, he always impresses me. Like, he's got the fucking grit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just that natural grit.
So it's a weird story. You've known me for a long time. Scott's known me for a long time. I can talk to anybody, right?
Yeah.
No strangers. Go have a conversation with anybody in the world. You put this thing in my hand, I will lock up solid like that girl on Coyote. I'm like, well, when I played on stage with y'all, you know, or sang on stage with y'all at the Gypsy, I'd forget the words.
Yeah.
Song I've been singing my whole life, grew up with. And
I've
like,
always found that funny about you.
I don't understand.
That you're so extroverted all the time. And
until I get this thing, I'm like...
We have that place in Texas that we go all the time where they've got the lease place. Well, there's a little bar in town, and I say a little bar. It's a little steakhouse bar place, and...
The stage is about from you cut over right here, just this corner.
Tiny stage. And they always have live music in there on Friday nights. And so we got to know the people that work there, you know, and we said something about playing music. And they said, we'd love to have y'all on. I was like, hell yeah. So that's why I bought that music equipment that you have now. Yeah. And I was like, we'll do it. Well, Calvert gets a little bit of cold feet, says, well, we need to practice. Well, a couple times later after we were down there, the guy that was on stage playing found out that we played music. Well, he took a break, handed Calvin that Martin guitar and said, get up there and play. Well, I had my harps in the truck, so I went and got the harps, climbed up there. He was as nervous as a cat in a bathtub.
Oh, God, it was horrible.
There was 8 people in the building, including the bartender.
Hey, it doesn't matter. An eyeball's an eyeball. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean, nervous. No, it wasn't her.
Cool. I see a lot of girls look like her. She's just.
You know what? That's what one of my That's what one of my coworkers said. He was like, every 20-year-old girl looks like that right now.
No, I know. There is kind of it's kind of weird though, like growing up, thinking about college girls, and now your dad's age, because we were talking about the girl on one of the pods, and I think it was when Larry was on, but he was like, imagine being her dad. And I was like, man, you fucking ruined it for me.
Yeah, you got to be proud of her.
You got daughters, too.
Yeah, man, I've got one that'll be 18 in August.
Shit, no kidding?
Yeah.
That's wild,
One
dude.
that just passed her driving test, so I've got one.
Congrats. Did you do the driving teaching?
No, not a bit of it. Yes.
Jeff doesn't have the patience for that.
No, I usually sit over there and don't say anything, right? Unless... so I did a little bit with Kylie when she had her license when she was new, and I don't ever really say anything. I'll say, hey, the speed limit's not 60, it's 55.
Right.
You know? It's not 5 over with Dad, because if you know anything about me, I'm an hourly employee. So I don't have to drive fast anywhere because I get paid by the hour, and that has transitioned over into my personal life. When we go to Texas or anywhere road trip, I drive 10 miles under the speed limit. I'm rubbernecking everywhere we go, man.
Really?
But yeah, I always scolded for that. And then I don't really say anything, but when I do have to say something, it's usually very loud and very abrasive.
Very stern.
Yeah, it's very stern.
He's a spoil the rod kind of guy.
Oh man, she turned in front of some people, and I lost my religion. And every dirty word that I knew, she knew at that time. And of course, she's like, "What? I didn't do anything." I was like, "You almost killed us all."
Yeah, that. What about you, Scott? Did you do most of the driving?
Yeah.
With your twins, you did most of it.
Yep, sure did. And my daughter about killed us too.
Oh, there is no level of fear I've ever experienced before teaching my oldest to drive. Just like, God, we lived through that.
Yeah.
You know,
We made it.
Fucking scary. The
She's
little
actually-
ones are always driving around up top and on four-wheelers and stuff, but he just wasn't interested in that stuff. So it's kind of the first time he's really getting out on a vehicle. The first time we hit up Farmington coming into stoplights and stuff, I'm putting a hole through the floor.
Punching a hole in it, yeah.
So, God damn.
It's very nerve-wracking. I try to be as calm and collected as possible, and she'll tell you different stories. She's like, "I'm not driving Dad, he's mean." And I'm just like, well,
it's life and death. I mean, honestly.
Oh, shit, really. I mean, it's crazy.
Even 4 years later, it still scares the shit out of me to ride with my son. He's 20 now, and he still scares the absolute shit out of me. I don't know how he hadn't crashed. I love the boy, but he can't drive for shit.
But that's the whole weird thing, too, is like, because I still got him at home. I haven't experienced him being away You know what I mean? Driving.
Yeah.
Like I've always, he's not even 14 yet. He shouldn't be driving at all. But country roads.
I've always thought about this though. So like it's against the law for somebody, learning to drive to drive dad's drunk ass around, right? What would you rather? My drunk ass driving or somebody that's sober and, half-ass knows the rules?
Right.
I'll blow through that stop sign. So
that's why I'm pro local laws.
Sure.
You said that about him being 14. So
He's not.
He
even.
almost.
Yeah, almost.
When I was 14, the day I turned 14, I went and got my learner's permit.
Me too.
30 days later, I went and took the driving test.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I got my hardship license.
Yeah.
Right? That was a normal practice.
Absolutely.
Whatever year that was when I was 14 years old.
Hardships, yeah. And that was at 14, right? Like you could get.
I drove because I had a part-time job.
Yeah.
At 14 years old, I had a part-time job working for the state of Arkansas at a state park, and I drove myself to work every day after school. At 14 years old.
How far are you going?
10 miles. 10 miles on a state highway though. But I was totally competent.
But were those hardship licenses limited to working back?
You
couldn't just
work, school, and church.
Okay.
That was it.
But it wasn't just an early license. You had to be in.
You should have went more to church than you did work or school.
These shirts keep shrinking on me. I swear to God. They get smaller and smaller.
But anyways, where I was going with that,
I feel like mine's
is
accurate.
like I was totally competent, and I was never involved in an accident. Yada yada. The 14-year-old kids nowadays, there's no fucking way I'd turn them loose on a state highway by themselves in a 3,000-pound vehicle.
Well, a couple things. Traffic back when you were learning to drive wasn't anything like it is now. And, I mean, you think about that. Like, we had it pretty easy learning to drive.
Sure.
Even in Fayetteville. There just wasn't people out like there is now. There was no traffic. Like, traffic to me is like bumper-to-bumper kind of shit. We have that now. We didn't have that back then.
Yeah.
I felt like today, driving down the road, I was like, is it a holiday weekend or something? It's
Right.
just a Thursday.
Hogs playing?
I was just like, my God.
It's every fucking day now.
Why do these people, are they not working? What are they doing? Why are they on the road? It's nuts.
Well, the other thing is, like, I feel like kids nowadays don't feel an urgency to do it. I wanted to get the fuck out.
Yeah,
like, I want to go and have the power over them. Like, I feel like kids now don't have the same. They don't butt heads as much, at least in the experiences I know. And all I know is what I see, But like, I was hell bent on getting that license.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was motivated.
I had to make my children get it at 16.
Really?
I had to make them go get it.
No shit. So even they
were about 15. But yeah,
but they just weren't interested in it.
Just wasn't interested in it. Nope. I told them one time, I said, I'm really sick and tired of people in this household without driver's license making plans for people that do.
Oh, that's
right. Hey, Dad, I need you to take me over to so-and-so's house. Come pick me up at this time.
We've already run into
You're 19.
Yeah, they don't, like, kids today don't have the ambition to have that driver's license. Like, I mean, because it wasn't just me when I was 14. It was like all my classmates, the day you turned 14, you went and got your learner's permit.
It was a rite of passage back
then.
then.
That's a generational thing. Because we all did that back then, it seemed like. And now,
we didn't have iPhones either.
Well, when did cell phones come out?
I got my first cell phone was a Nokia phone, I think halfway through my senior year.
That's the one with Snake on it, right?
Yeah. And I thought
I had mine before that. I was probably 95.
Did you have a Nokia bag phone?
I did have a bag phone.
Yeah, my mom had
it. It was a Motorola. I don't know who the service provider even was, but
Alltel.
I mean, it was it was Alltel, yeah. But it just had the little fold-out speaker and a little antenna on it.
Yep.
And
little Zach Morris type phone.
It was our family cell phone.
It was the one that was a trapezoid.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And it was basically the family's phone. It wasn't mine, but like whoever was away took it, right? So you could reach them. And I remember going to Fiesta Square movies one night back when Hastings was over there.
Yep.
And I dropped that damn phone right as this car's coming.
Oh,
and I'm like, there ain't no way it's not going to get run over. Both tires go over the son of a bitch. And I'm like, that's the family cell phone, I picked that thing up. There wasn't a scratch on it. It worked.
They don't make them like they used to.
iPhone won't take a 4-foot fall down.
No shit.
Yeah. Even with the screen protector. I can remember when I got my first iPhone, they were just like, hey, man, you need to buy this OtterBox. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this thing's expensive. They're like, trust me, you're going to go outside, you're going to drop it.
Right.
And it's going to shatter, and we're not doing shit for you.
Yeah.
I was like, give me the OtterBox.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like phones are so cheap. I don't even know where mine's at, but they're so cheap, and like I don't invest in iPhones or anything. I just get the cheapest phone I can because I'm gonna break it. You know, the problem is I'm such a damn boomer. I don't know how to store contacts on a cloud or anything. So every time I lose a phone, I finally started.
Who's
syncing
this?
Shit up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, I got a new phone. That's what I'm always.
I feel like I'm way too old to be doing that, but I still am.
Yeah.
It feels like an excuse.
I got a funny iPhone story. It was right after their cell phone story. It was right after cell phones come out. I'd taken a trip up to Springfield to go to Bass Pro Shop, coming by Garfield. You know where the old bus stop was, where you get the tall ice cream cone.
Oh yeah.
Me and my old father-in-law stopped in there to get us a big ice cream cone. We got a cone, sat down in the booth. We're sitting there, and directly behind me, phone started ringing. Cell phone started ringing. And it rang, and it rang, and it rang. And finally, I kind of hunched up, turned around. It's an elderly gentleman behind me. He kind of jumped, fiddled around his pocket. Yep. Hello? How the hell did you find me here? Oh, well, I'll be home in a bit. Well, I started laughing.
Yeah.
But he heard me laughing. So we kind of, met, there in the middle. He said, hell, I guess this son of a bitch would ring anywhere. He said, how the hell did you find me here?
Yeah.
It just didn't register.
Yeah.
It's not like the old landline.
That's
The old landline in the kitchen. You got the one phone with the mile-long cord that your mom did everything.
Think about the journey we had with phones. Like y'all probably had rotary dials, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
When you was growing up,
Sure, yeah.
It wasn't.
I was on
It was
a party
almost a
line.
deterrent to make a phone call. It's like I don't want to wait 45 seconds
Yeah.
to go through. And back then there was long distance, right? You weren't allowed to call long distance because you got all those surcharges on it.
The fancy
You had to
people,
wait till after 9 p.m.
My fancy friends had the 267 number from Prairie Grove. So if you had a 267 number,
Well, that's Farmington, ain't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
So if you had a 267 number, which they offered, I'm
Yeah.
sure it was more, but you could call Fayetteville and it wasn't long distance.
That's right.
Yeah, so-
yeah, that's right.
So some of my buddies were like,
I didn't think about
come
Prairie
over.
Grove being long distance
Yeah.
from Fayetteville.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't call like 2 towns over back then.
Yeah, no.
It was like adjoining towns only.
Lincoln was a stretch.
Not till after 9 p.m. And we were on a party line.
I never had a party line.
We did.
So that's
It was because we lived out at the end of the dirt road, and it was our family.
it was in Winslow.
Winslow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my grandma lived right down the road, and then my mom's second uncle or something lived on, and we were all three. Oh, and my aunt and uncle. There was 4 of us on a party line. So if you got ready to call somebody, you picked up the phone off the receiver. They're just liable to be somebody on there talking.
Yeah.
And
But it was
rang
it was at least family. It wasn't
was
just
all
strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People.
But it rang different, also.
Really?
Yeah, so you'd know they were calling you and not calling. I don't remember.
But what year did you graduate?
97.
And you?
2000.
So yeah, I thought we were.
Yeah, we were-
So you're a couple years old.
Yeah. I'm a 79 model.
79 model. My grandpa used to call himself a 38 special.
38 special.
That's pretty damn.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Can you imagine the shit they went through growing up? They didn't have cell phones or TV. Fuck.
Man.
America
So
was
we've
at
touched
war.
on the 2 topics that is crazy to me, because you take a kid today, you put them in a parking lot with a manual transmission and a rotary phone, and try to get and try to be like an escape route. Blow their mind. Blow their mind. They never get out of that car.
Never
Hey,
get out of that car.
and the instructions on how to do it are written in cursive.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's it,
right.
man. I mean,
I had a
crippled.
dude was over here. His daughter was over here at one of my kids' parties or something, and he brings her over to the car and he goes, "Hey, I want you to come see this." He opens the door and he goes, "This is how they used to roll windows down back in the
gosh.
day." I was like, "You don't think about it, but fuck, these kids haven't seen non-electric windows even."
Yeah. Probably never dim their headlights with their foot either.
oh, I had the old foot switch.
Well, fucking smoking windows, those little
The wing window. Well, bring those back.
Yeah, those excellent.
Oh,
kind
that
of nice.
cool me off. You're all sweaty,
Yeah.
crank the wing window, and you're doing good, man. I can remember hauling hay and just coming in 2-3 in the morning, just being just smoked from hauling all summer long, and crank that wing window, man. It'd cool you right off.
But we also grew up in a smoking generation.
That's true.
Everybody smoked, especially in the 60s, 70s, in the movies. I mean, I remember playing in bars when they outlawed it, and I was glad because I hate singing around all that smoke,
Right.
you know? I mean, whether you think it's right or wrong, I mean, probably shouldn't be doing it. But, just go outside or
And,
whatever.
back
But,
then, they said it was a stress reliever. And being, I'll smoke cigars now, but I'm a former cigarette smoker. There's nothing that better calm you down, in my opinion, back then than a Camel Crush, man.
Yeah.
You get all worked up, fire that dude up. She's like,
Well, how does that work as a stress reliever when it's a stimulant?
I have no
You know
idea.
how that works on the brain? Because you do the velos. You don't do any snuff at all, like any actual tobacco. It's all that.
I'll smoke cigars every now and then.
Does that really give you a lot of nicotine though? Are you really? Does it?
Yeah.
I've never even smoked a cigar. I've never. I'm just not. I don't like smoke.
Yeah. Well, then you wouldn't like a cigar
Probably wouldn't.
because they have a lot of it.
Yeah.
I don't mind being in the room with it. I just don't like
Yeah.
anything.
They don't
like
taste
inhaling
as
shit.
good as they smell. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know, I can remember the first time. Like my uncle used to smoke those Swisher Sweets religiously.
Yeah.
I'd ride with him in the truck. He'd fire that dude. I was like, man, I can't wait to steal one of them things. And I
Really?
finally got my hands on one.
Yeah.
When I fired that dude, I was like, this is not at all what I had imagined. Because
It's like pipe tobacco. That's
Yeah.
the same way. It
Oh, yeah.
smells so
Oh, it
good.
smells fantastic.
That old cherry
I have
tobacco,
smoked a
yeah.
pipe. That
I
is
bet you have.
back in my youth in Minecraft. At Minecraft. So how old are you got, how many you got?
2 girls.
You just got 2, so
Yeah.
one of them's,
Got one will be 18 in August and one will be 16 in February. So I'm going through the estrogen festival right now, man. There's a lot of it.
Estrafest.
Yeah, exactly.
Did they have, were they interested in video games or anything?
Oh
like
yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff?
man.
Were they
So-
really?
Oh yeah. So my oldest, her and her boyfriend right now have got this farming simulator.
Oh yeah, I've heard of those.
It is freaking.
We had farming in real life.
Yeah,
I know, right?
we didn't simulate
Theirs
shit,
is a lot
man.
easier than what we did.
It was cool, man. I
Yeah, it's wild.
laid down the floor with her, and I was just like, no, man, you need to harvest these. And of course, it's got the cheat codes, which you don't have in real life. She's like, oh, you killed the
Right.
crops, you're broke.
You can't plant corn back to back.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was really cool. I said, man, I can get down with this, man. We can build it. And I was like, well, how do you buy stuff? She's like, oh, I need a new tractor. She'll go buy a new tractor. I was like, how do you have this money? And she's like, oh, I've got $340 million in my
Yeah.
fake bank. I was like, it's kind of cool, man.
But it actually does. A lot of video games now at least do teach you how to manage resources.
Sure.
Like in Red Dead, you got so much ammo, you got so much,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And like you got to go out and grind or hunt
Yeah.
to find that stuff. It's not completely mindless like watching
Yeah.
fucking TikTok is or something. Like you got to think through it. You got to have strategy. Some of these games, these games are so difficult now. Like you got to have a fucking engineering degree to beat a boss,
I couldn't even turn the machine on.
right?
I don't play video games either.
Did you not when you were younger?
Oh, I did when I was younger. Yeah.
Just didn't stick.
You know, in 1985 when the NES came out,
The Atari.
I did have an Atari.
Dude, it's weird to me to think that we had a device with one stick and 2 buttons because everything's gone to the
Yeah.
controller
12
kind of
button
thing.
controllers.
Yeah.
Or the joysticks are like real sophisticated. Computer gamers use them still, but like it was just such a simple thing. 3 buttons.
Did you ever have the power pad? You run the track with the power pad?
I never had one.
Yeah.
On the NES?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the Power Glove too.
I did too. The Mike
The
Tyson
Power Glove
punch, yeah.
sucked.
Yeah, I couldn't
It
stand
sucked bad.
I
Like
got it
they
for Christmas and-
mismarketed that son of a bitch. I
I
was
was-
pissed. It was
I was-
basically a controller on a
it.
glove.
That's what it was.
But
Yeah.
there wasn't no motion control. But they
like-
made you believe.
Soda Popinski beat my ass at Mike Tyson punch out every time because it was so delayed.
Could you beat him right now?
I doubt it. No, not even close. It's been so long since I played any.
That'd be
video
fun to
games.
fire up some.
It
old
would be
games on
slow,
pod,
yeah.
man. Did you ever beat Tyson?
No.
I beat him when I was 19 years old.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of those things in the back of my mind I never had done.
Got
And I'm-
personal. Yeah, got on
Yeah,
the bucket
like
list.
over
yeah.
the years. It was a bucket
Yeah.
list thing. It's like I never beat that game. So one night I got my homework done, and I was in college, and I fucking sat down and just did it and did it and did it, kind of like you used to do,
Oh, yeah.
just until you beat it. And it meant enough to me that I finally beat the son of a bitch. And it was like, your heart's racing.
Yeah.
It's like a real fucking fight.
What was the guy before him? Was it King Hippo?
King Hippo, you fight twice. So
Yeah,
early
when he
on,
raised
and
his
he's
hands
later
up,
on.
he had a little target on his belly button.
Yeah, you got to
Bam!
punch that
yeah.
belly, yeah. Yeah, man, that was a fucking tough game. I remember people hearing rumors of older kids having beaten Tyson, but I never knew anybody personally that had beat him. That's a tough fucking fight.
You're one of those guys.
I know. I'm one of the elite.
Exactly. I couldn't do it.
I still remember the code to get to them because I did it so many times. It's
Yeah.
007373596
That's impressive.
And then you
That's
go-
more impressive.
Well,
than
that's how
beating
many times I
Tyson.
did it.
So yeah, there was Mortal Kombat when it came out for Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
That was Liu Kang. He had a cheat code where he turned into a dragon and snatched the body out. Down, forward, back, C. It's
There you go.
etched in my brain.
You remember the Contra code?
Up, down, left, right, BA select start or AB select start.
Holy shit!
Yes, you
I
got
do that one too.
You see that meme over there from Star Wars? It's an older code, sir, but it checks out. It's Contra. Any Konami games, I think, used that, but it gave you 30 lives on Contra.
Yeah.
And that was fun because back then you didn't have very many two-player simultaneous games on the Nintendo.
Yeah.
In fact, I can't think of hardly Double Dragon, maybe.
Simultaneous?
Like where you're both on the same screen at the same time. Because Mario, you had to take turns.
Double
Ninja
Dragon.
Turtles,
Yeah.
Double Dragon, yeah.
Street Fighter. I think Street Fighter had them.
Well, not fighting games, but like
Oh,
where you're
yeah,
both
yeah,
going
yeah.
through the levels
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, fighting games were the only games. One of the only kind of games you could actually play at the same time. Football games, stuff like that. But
Remember Tecmo Bowl?
oh god,
Bo
yes.
Jackson couldn't be stopped. Walter
Was he
Payton.
invincible in that game?
Yeah, it was Raiders. Him and Walter Payton. Just if you didn't pick the exact defense for the offense that you picked, he was gone. You couldn't stop him.
I remember Madden. I don't remember when Madden first came out. 92, somewhere in there. It was on Super Nintendo. It was the first one I had. I think I had 92 or 93. But there was one play in every playbook. There was just a touchdown every time.
Yeah.
And once you know about it, like you can't not do it.
Right,
you know?
absolutely.
And like if you're losing and it's like fuck, I'm gonna use that play. You know, so you can just never lose if you found that. If I had discipline, I'd just avoid that play. But
Have you seen the new one that just came out this week? The college
talking about the
football 25?
NCAA.
College football 25.
Stillwell's talked about it.
Oh.
I haven't seen like.
I haven't played it. I'm not a gamer, but
But this is like the first one they've done since 2013, right?
Yeah.
Because all the financial
It's
shit.
the NIL
unbelievable.
stuff and,
Yeah.
Unbelievable the graffics on that thing.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Truly unbelievable.
But I feel like the Cybertruck has gone backwards. I saw a meme on my phone. It was
What do you
like
mean
the
by
Tesla Cybertruck is like an old Nissan Frontier with PlayStation 1 graphics. Just the way it's shaped. I laugh like an idiot, man. I
That's
was like,
funny.
that's spot on, man.
I'm not crazy about the design, but I like them because they're different. 'Cause
Yeah.
everything's so fucking homogenous now. Everything looks like everything. Used to you'd be able to pick out a Toyota. It didn't matter what model it was. Like that's a
Toyotas
Toyota.
look like a Chevrolet now.
They all look the same.
yeah.
To me. Like the 4Runner just doesn't stand out like it used to.
No.
You know, that was a unique design back in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
They've all just got different sizes of basically SUVs now. You know?
So you're a fan of the Cybertruck, the Tesla?
I think they're cool.
I'm a fan
not, like
of
I
the
said, I'm not a fan of the
performance of it.
design. I like that it's different.
Just different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can just spot one.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And you know, and it's Elon, and I've seen him up close now, and they're just, I don't know. It's like, remember when the Cybertrucks came out? You know, like in 20 years.
Oh yeah.
Like this is one of those things. It's just neat.
Kind of like bag phones.
Yeah, right.
You know, I mean, it's all generational anymore, man.
Well, I
It's
resisted the
just like-
smartphone for almost a decade before I had one.
Yeah, I can remember going to the mall and buying a Bud Light cover
That doesn't
for my
surprise me.
Nokia phone, and I was just like, I'm a bad dude, man. And then you could
Right.
buy ringtones. Remember when you buy ringtones?
Oh
Yep.
yeah, I remember when you
Yeah,
could.
and now you could get anything. Your phone do anything nowadays.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I spent $30-$40 on stupid ringtones.
They
I remember had
sense.
Yeah, but I'd had a whole bunch of
But
them.
people would do it.
Oh, yeah.
I remember because I was recording, so I had audio editing software, so I just upload whatever song or import it in there and just make my own ringtones. It's like, man, because they were like 29 cents a piece or whatever you said. I mean,
Yeah.
they were, but they added up. You know,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
want all those different songs, and you could assign different songs to different people.
Yeah.
You know, so when
I
they
thought
call,
this is the coolest thing ever.
Oh yeah. I used to be like when phones first started evolving. I was real into them. It's like until they hit smartphone. It's like once it got to that level, I was like, I don't need the internet on my phone.
Yeah.
Why would I ever need that? And now I use the internet on it constantly.
I remember when the StarTAC came out. Everybody had to have the StarTAC, the Motorola StarTAC.
I had one.
That little thin. and I was never fortunate enough to have one.
The StarTech got me in a lot of trouble one night because I thought I had shut it, and I didn't, and I threw it down in the truck seat.
Oh,
After I called my mom, and I said a lot of bad shit
Oh, dear.
between West Fork and Winslow,
Oh, dear.
and my mama heard every bit of it.
She could have turned it off.
She didn't.
They never will.
because deep down inside, she knew her son said bad shit.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That is an interesting thing about parenthood. It's like, are they the same away from here
Not even close.
as they are here?
And it's even,
I
like
think it depends on the kid. I think some are.
with my daughters, I mean, and it's like, say, I thought my parents were stupid.
Right.
My daughter thinks I'm stupid,
Right.
which is some things I am, and I was like, I pulled that same shit on my parents.
Yeah.
So you need to get a little better than I was, right? Because I was 90s, 2000.
Yeah.
And here you are 2024 and you're pulling some early 2000 shit. That ain't going to fly. I've been down that road, man.
Right. Come on now. We've evolved.
Oh, you're staying with a friend. I'm going to need your friend's parents to call me and confirm.
yeah, that's right.
You're out smoking cigarettes in a field. Why didn't you just tell me I'm smoking cigarettes in a field?
Right. Well, you can, like you said, you're also more open. I feel like parents talk to their kids more than what our parents' generation did. It's a lot more easy to have conversations with your kids.
And I always found it was easy. Man, I just told my mom where I was going. I didn't have to lie to my mom.
Well, see,
Ooh, I did.
Well, see, yeah, I
lied to
did
my
too.
mom a
I
lot.
did. I
Just told my mom where
well, I would just omit, just lie by omission.
Yeah.
You just didn't say,
Yeah.
or you'd lie.
Yeah.
You lie about it, but sometimes I wouldn't tell the whole truth, you know.
Hey, I'm going to hang out with Rodney and Jay.
Yeah.
But I didn't tell her that Rodney and Jay were hanging out at a party at Chester.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I did that
That's
one
how
time.
the media does it. I
Yeah.
mean, you know what I mean? And we
Learn it
fall-
from CNN, man. I mean, come on.
Right.
Just give you a snippet of what you're looking for. But yeah, my kids are.
You ain't caught them with any camo ice yet, have you?
No, not yet, man. Not yet. But
You were talking about that before the podcast.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know this beer you're referencing.
Okay, so it was like, I think the
9%?
camo was 8.5 and the camo ice was 9 or 9.5.
And it was delicious.
Yeah, if you're from Louisiana. It was $1.50 a can,
Yeah.
I'm thinking it. Were they 16?
16 ounces, yeah, big.
And boy, they were nasty.
Yeah.
They were rough, even for somebody like myself who'll drink anything. It was,
But they were $1.50.
but they were $1.50 and they were 9%. And so you just so you spend $3 and you gotta.
Back in the day, we weren't there for taste. We were there to get us where we wanted to go. Right?
Hey,
Yeah,
Jeff
that's
sent
what-
me a meme the other day, and I laughed
Yeah.
like an idiot. It said, "I'd drink a whole lot less beer if a whole lot less beer got me drunk."
Exactly.
Some truth in that.
No, I've thought many times about the conversation you and I had about the light beer,
Yeah.
about how it's a good gauge control.
Yeah.
Where you know, if you feel like you're ramping up, just
Yep.
stop.
Just stop.
And then you're ground zero again, and you can.
Hey, just one bottle of water and you're back on
Shit,
top. Ain't
man,
that
I've
right?
seen this dude drink a 30-pack.
Yeah. I
You
believe it.
know, he's in the floor of the boat. We're down in the Arkansas River. He's curled up in the fetal position, hemorrhaging. He drinks one bottle of water, and I was like, "I'll drive. I hadn't had as many. No, I'm good. I'm on top. I'm back on top." That was his main statement. I'm back on top. He drank 30 beers and one bottle of water. He's like, "Oh, I'm good to drive." And I'm like, "No, you're not." And then wake up the next morning. You should have not let me drove. We went to Texas one time with Gary, and this dude's trying to fist fight us to drive home. Basically, I'm like,
I've seen it.
"You don't
Not
need to
with
do
him.
this."
Yeah.
Wakes up the next morning. Y'all shouldn't have let me drove.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you tried to punch us in the throat, so we just said,
I'm
"You're a
not
grown
a
man."
person.
I remember
You were that night.
having people over at parties and stuff. Like my parents were out of town, you know, and these are people getting fucked up. And then
Oh, yeah.
I'm driving home. It's like, hey, just stay here.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll blow
get
up.
mad at you,
Motherfucker,
yeah.
gonna stop. And then their dad calls you 30 minutes later and said, "Why is my son's teeth busted out on the front porch?"
He
No.
wanted to drive.
Yeah.
We wouldn't let him.
Well, sir, here's the deal.
Oh, I had a.
I'm sorry your son was 9, but jokes, people. Fuck.
A good friend of mine. He was Ronnie. Ronnie used to get white girl wasted, man. I mean, just bad.
Yeah.
I think we were watching Razorbacks play, and he'd jump on my back. That's one thing I can't stand. Don't just come jump on my back, right?
That's obnoxious.
I don't know how you alert somebody, hey, I'm fixing to jump on your back.
Yeah.
But
or just don't do it.
And I was just like, quit, dude. And he was so drunk, he just kept doing it. And then I finally like, just get the fuck off of me, man. Just chill out. Man, fuck you. And I was like, well, he gets mad, he goes, leave. Well, I've got his keys. I'm not letting him leave, man. He's completely comatose. and I was like, we're going to take you home. Fuck you. And I was like, come on, man. Why are you being so combative right now? Like, we're going to do you a favor.
Yeah.
Well, we get him loaded up. Christy's driving us home. And I was like, you'll thank me in the morning. I'll thank your wife. And I was like, God, man. Damn. I still tease him about that time. But we've all
everybody's been there. I've been there. We were talking about my.
No, hell, I got it. And I can remember driving somewhere and getting home and waking up and like, how'd I get home?
Yeah. But I still was talking about the Gundy comment about that DUI. This Oklahoma coach, you know what I'm talking about?
Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was like, kid had 2, 3, 4, 5 beers and drove home. I mean, I've done it 1,000 times. It's like,
I'm a man. I'm 40. Come at me.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because, boy, when you add them up, you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
I used to know a guy who used to cut a Sprite can and wrap it around his beers.
Wonder who would do shit like that.
We've been there.
I remember seeing that at a crawfish broil at your place one time going, God damn, that's genius.
So, his ex-in-laws are huge church-going people. No, fire and brimstone kind of people, no alcohol, whatever. So we had a crawfish bowl at his house, and he created these,
Mountain Dew wrappers.
Yeah.
I took a Mountain Dew can with a grinder, cut the top.
So this is your
baby. Yeah, engineering. Yeah, it's finest.
Split the side, and it would fit perfectly around the Busch Light can.
You son of a
and
bitch.
Then you just slide that down in a koozie. Well, you're 3/4 covered anyway. Now it's just Mountain Dew stepping out the top.
So
continue on.
We have a crawfish bowl. Me and him sitting there drinking beer all night. His father-in-law comes up. Hey, Scott, you ate more of them Mountain Dews? He's like, nah, these the last two. We drank those Mountain Dews all night long, man. we never put them down. Yeah, we still got the Mountain Dews.
That's my last two.
I ain't got no more, man.
Because I didn't have any Mountain Dews.
You didn't have any? You never had any.
No. Matter of fact, I'd stole the Mountain Dew cans out of his trash can.
And now that that I saw them on TikTok Shop now, they'll make like Duff beer, off the Simpsons, and I was like, man, I'd like to have some of those just for the novelty of them.
I want to look into because you see all these YouTubers should have their own beer brands and stuff. It's like how much would it cost somebody to get a few cases of beer made with a logo on it or something? You know what I mean?
That'd be cool.
Just go, wouldn't that? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's so much different shit out nowadays. The people, fucking coffee's huge. Everybody got their own damn coffee brand now, and it can't be expensive. I mean, I see people low tier doing it.
I'm surprised Witherspoon doesn't have his own coffee by now. If he knew this, he would have his own coffee. He's a huge coffee snob, man.
We had that shop for a while.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, he knows his shit, right?
His shit, yeah.
I would just to wake up in the morning and get some Folgers, right? So we'll be in Texas. We'll get up, and he's got some kind of French Arabica, whatever, whatever. Yeah. He was like, you drink Folgers, pussy.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
You're not having the Peruvian dry roast?
Exactly.
I did a song contest one time for a Folgers commercial.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Never did hear anything back.
What does that consist of?
It's like they were trying to do a new, you had to use their... how's that?
Best part of waking up.
Best part of waking up is Folgers in you, okay?
Yeah.
You had to use that in it, but you had to do 30 seconds of music, about the brand or whatever. I did a submission to it.
That's cool.
That is neat.
I don't know. I felt like
you'd
a
have had some
whore
harmonica in it. It probably would have flew.
Maybe. Well, I felt like a whore doing it, and then I felt like a bigger whore when they didn't call me back. So
I've not tried slut.
Right. Yeah, what's funny is I've had several people turn down doing the podcast because there's alcohol consumed on it.
Really?
Like, I don't want my in-laws seeing that there's alcohol going on or anything like that. You know, that's wild.
You know, respect for them, I guess. I don't know. I mean, whatever somebody wants to do, man.
You know, yeah, that's what freedom is.
You know, I think I was 23 years old, and my mom was like, "I know you drink beer." And I looked her dead in the eye. I was like, "No shit, I've been drinking since I was 19. You beat the shit out of me when I was 14 for getting drunk at the bowling alley." So I was like, "Yeah, Mom, I'm 23."
I don't understand that logic, though. I mean, like, I guess I'm different.
What logic?
That just because somebody wouldn't sit here and have a conversation with you because you're drinking a beer. Like, if you chopped a line of nostril gospel on that table right there, I'm going to watch you do it. I'm not going to partake, but I don't care if you do.
Well, my problem is whether they do it or not, why are you living in fear of what somebody thinks about you?
I agree with that.
To me, you're living a lie.
Yeah.
I know people who empty their whole house of alcohol if the in-laws come in.
Sure.
And to me, it's like, then you're lying.
Yeah. You're
and
living
that to
too
me
different,
is a bigger sin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, why live in fear of these people you're lying to?
Well, I mean, we covered up our beers. We still did it, but we lived our lives, the Mountain Dews all night long.
I don't know.
Some people, you know, I think sometimes, and I've been around some people that, you know, like my grandparents didn't condone drinking or anything like that, but sometimes it's more along the lines of not wanting to put up with the bullshit repercussion you end up getting. But I don't agree with emptying your house out, like, because
once you're a grown ass adult, that's what
right.
I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
I get when you're younger and you're trying to get established, you know, and
sure.
you want allies and you don't want to deal with the bullshit. But once you're established, like, why play that? You know, I don't know. I just don't personally understand it. I respect it if that's what you want to do. I just don't get it. And there's a difference.
Like, I've got a armoire full of whiskey. If my mom wants to come over, and I guess I could close the lid when she comes over. Of course, my mom
It ain't gonna change the fact that you have it.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make it disappear.
Well, I've been wanting to talk about this with somebody for a while. This is a good crew to talk about with. Like, when did you first become aware of alcohol when you were growing up, and what was your thought of it?
I was 14 years old.
All right.
I got hammered drunk at the bowling alley with Tony Watson. I went with my sister.
So you've never had beer before?
No.
You're 14.
14
and
years
what
old.
caused you to start drinking it that night?
So I went with my sister, who would have been 17 at the time. She was dating this guy who was quite a bit older. I think he was over 21. Had to be. And I think there were some contractors working in town, basically. They were staying in the Colonial Courts there. Fine establishment.
Colonial Courts.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude.
That's big timing.
Yep.
And so he took us to the bowling alley. That guy's like, "Hey, you want a beer?" And I was just like, "Yeah." So me and Tony Watson go to the bathroom. We drink this Bud Heavy, and then it escalated from there to pint of tequila.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Hold up.
Hey, we just went straight to Freemason meth right off the bat, man. First time. Now, when I was a kid, I drank beer, but we went straight for the hard stuff, man.
That is extreme.
Big time. And before I know it, I'm bowling. I can't stand up. It's great. And it's still this way to me today. As long as I'm moving, I was good. And when it was time, like rock, you remember Rock and Bowl, man? It was like 11 to 2 a.m., man, listening to music.
Goddamn.
We were doing that. And when it was over, I got in my mom's van and I sat still. And that's when the world went spinning on me. So she had a whole bunch of kids. And I told my little brother's friends, open the window. You know, the Aerostars had those sliding, like those school bus that slid windows. And I was fixing to get sick, and I knew it. And I said, open the window. He's like, what for? I said, just open the damn window. What for? Blech. And out it comes. So now I'll tell my sister I'm sick off French fries. It smells like a tequila brewery and a distillery in there. And then I said that the worst part of my life, still to this day, is not seeing my mom mad, but being hammered drunk, seeing two of her mad. Because it was just, I was like, that's the word. Oh man, which one is it the one on the left or the right that's fixing to hit me?
Yeah.
But that was one of my toughest things I've ever had to do, was at 14-year-old try to tell my dad and my mom that I just had a few beers. But for me at 14, that was crazy. And now I'm just like, Mom, I'm hammered drunk. Can you take me home? But yeah, and we were talking about this earlier, and I was thinking, who just drinks their first beer and says, you know what, that's delicious? I didn't. I remember my first beer. I was like, this is fucking horrible. How do you drink this shit? And now look at me, I'm like,
Yeah.
I think it's the relationship you develop with it, because you drink it to change the way you feel.
Sure.
Typically,
Yeah, if not, we'd all be drinking Bush NA, right?
Right.
Okay.
But it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And I like feeling good. And so, that's why I'm just curious. Like, when did you find that you were just doing it all the time? And to
probably,
recognize that you were?
Probably 19, I'd say.
I was way older.
Way older than
Way older.
than you recognized it, or when you started?
Oh, shit, when me and
you
Scott first started hanging out, that son of a bitch would be hammered on 3 Strawberritas. You remember those
really?
Strawberritas? Frog got drunk.
I drank some hard liquor, like, in high school, but we smoked a lot in high school. And so alcohol just wasn't a thing, really, for us. But then I got married young, and then, like, we lived, obviously in our own house, and I wanted to just have that persona of, the old man gets off work and he comes home and has some beers. So I bought a case of beer, and like what you said, is I'll never forget that first case of beer I bought, just to come home and put it in my refrigerator. I'm the man of the house, and when the man of the house gets home, he's going to have a beer.
So it's kind of an archetype of the American dad, almost.
Yes. And I'll never forget, I drank that first beer, I was like, no, this shit's horrible.
Really?
And then it would be like,
how old are you?
How old am I now?
No, in this story.
19.
Okay.
I got married when I was 18.
You said you were 19. Okay, yeah.
Yep, and so that's how I got to drinking beer. And there's like, I'd have to wait 3 or 4 days before I could stomach another one. And then, like, that's the way it went until, I started hanging out with Jeff.
20 years ago.
So, 20 years ago. So, yeah, that's the way it was. I just wanted to have that, the American dad, just come home from a hard day's work.
That's when the Marlboro Man was an idol, though, man.
Oh my God!
Everybody wanted to be like the Marlboro Man and the Spud McKenzie commercials, and TV was nothing but, hey,
fucking James Bond.
You're drinking beer, you're having fun, you're on the lake with your friends, you're laughing.
They glorified it.
Exactly.
It was a party.
So did tampon commercials too, though.
And God, I still glorify those today. Thank God for them.
Well, it's a difference between I try not to glorify it to my kids.
Right. I'm saying mine.
I'm very transparent with them. I'm like, yeah, you can have a good time. You can also be an idiot asshole.
You can ruin your whole life.
Here's the shit that I got away with,
right,
and almost died. You know, so my wife thinks, just don't tell them anything. It's a very different.
Man, I feel like
it's like protect them from all of it.
Yeah, no, I mean you got to let them know what's out there. I think, man, but. We sit back and we laugh about the stories when we got drunk. We ended up upside down in the ditch and nobody died. It could have went.
It could have went the other way.
Could have went the other way, man.
Absolutely, I've been there.
You're sitting at your buddy's funeral, or somebody sitting at your funeral.
Yeah.
And then it changes the whole. It changes the whole demeanor on everything.
It does.
But if my kids want to drink, I'm cool with drinking. If my kids get drunk, I want them to know that if my 15-year-old, almost 16-year-old gets drunk, she can call me. And I'll go get her. I'm going to eat her ass out, and explain what she did wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go get her, right?
Yes. Well, your dad. If she can call anybody, it ought to be you.
Sure, yeah. I want both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people call me as a grown ass man. Say, hey, you couldn't get me? Yeah, I'm on call. Come get you.
But I think my fear is that alcoholism is generally genetic. That predilection. I mean, it is in my family. Like, there's people going up all the way as far as we can go, and so that's my fear of my kids, is if they have that predilection to go down, and have a relationship with it versus a casual fling.
Yeah.
Because it ain't healthy. We acknowledge it ain't healthy.
Oh yeah.
Well, it can be good for your mental health. So what's more important,
I feel like that's a fine line right there to walk, I mean...
I got one too, bro.
No, man, I'm just saying that,
But what are you trying to prove at 42, you know what I mean?
Like, nothing.
Nothing.
I'm just trying to outrun diabetes, man. That's all I'm trying to do, man. Whatever keeps my mind clear and I don't get something chronic, I'm good, you know.
Yes, sir.
I'll just.
So what was it that ramped it up for you hanging around with him?
Just because he drank beer all the time.
So you trying to keep up?
Yeah.
I've seen him throwing up my yard trying to keep up. My dad was over at the house, and my dad's buddy, and we were
When was
drinking.
this?
God, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
All right.
We were drinking moonshine.
Mm.
Well, Scott shows up, and we're sipping moonshine, right? Scott shows up, hour and a half late?
Yeah.
Me and my dad and my dad's buddy, we're feeling pretty good. We're not hammered. But Scott's like, I need to catch up. I need to get to their level.
Oh, no.
Right? So he starts hitting this moonshine pretty good. 20 minutes later, he's in the yard just letting his lunch go, man. And I was like, boy, you missed it. But like I say,
long-haired buffalo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is it because you're young that you go so hard? Because, like, right now,
Yes.
I have no
Yes, it is.
desire to get drunk. at
Oh,
all.
yeah.
I don't even want to feel that way.
I used to go until I throw up, and then I knew it was time to stop because I was sick.
Right.
And
I've
then,
noticed
But then you'd waste a whole day the next day being
Exactly.
hungover. I don't ever want to feel
and now,
like that.
God forbid, and I've gone. I haven't been sick in God knows how long. Knock on wood. But even getting pretty drunk without getting sick, my hangovers last like 3 days.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, this is horrible. Why do I do
Yeah,
this?
it ain't worth it.
It's like I'm completely useless the next 2 days.
Yeah.
So,
But it's not a good feeling
no, not
on any
it's
level
like
because
death.
you're not doing shit. You feel guilty. It's like,
Yeah.
you don't.
I'm
want
not being
that feeling.
productive.
Not being productive.
Yeah, I should have mowed my yard instead. I'm
I
dehydrated.
did methamphetamine
Exactly.
on concrete crocodile.
Exactly. I better go to the gas station and get that little rose that's in the little jar or the little glass deal.
Dude, speaking of fucking, you ever go to these Mexican restaurants where the pins have like a giant flower taped to them
Yeah.
so you don't steal the pins?
Oh yeah.
That is the wildest thing.
I remember the first time I saw it. I was like, or it'll have a plastic fork
Yeah,
taped to it.
taped to it.
What's this? They still depends. I was like, yeah, they still. I get it now. You're not gonna put that in your pocket. Fucking spork hanging out
Let me
your
ask you a
pocket.
Seinfeld kind of question. Is it okay to steal branded pins when they bring it to you?
Absolutely,
Because it's branding,
it's
right?
branded. Yeah, it's
That's
marketing.
marketing.
Yeah,
They know they're going to lose those pins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to, when I managed a team, we'd go to lunch once a month, and there's always an argument over, can you steal the pins?
yeah. If it's got the name on it, yeah,
If it's
absolutely.
got the name on it, yeah.
You're spreading the love.
Now, if it's solid gold and it's got diamonds laced
Yeah.
down the side of it, that's probably not a good idea.
Can you
But
steal the steak knives?
Oh man, come on.
wait, why would
It's
they have,
situational, okay? All right, man. I'm eating it. My mom is a huge Outback fan, right? Has
yeah.
been since since I'm old enough to remember. And I don't know, I was probably 18, 19 years old. We're eating at Outback. My mom's like, I love these knives. So it's like the Johnny Cash. I got it one piece at a time. So I'd go eat when she wasn't there and put them in my to-go box. For Mother's Day, she got a set of five of them motherfuckers. I was like, happy Mother's Day. She's like, where'd you get these? I said, Outback. I got it one piece at a time. So I
that
did.
might be the sweetest story I've ever heard a son do for his mom.
Yeah.
I'm a huge
I
mama's
like
boy.
That is beautiful.
I'm a huge
Jeff.
mama's
I didn't
boy.
know you're capable of such kindness.
I didn't either. Mother's Day was always kind of like, my mom loved when I got her. It was always kind of a gag on my end, you know?
Yeah.
Like one time my grandma, on my dad's side, had some rose bushes. She hated them. I want you to dig these up. She paid me a crazy amount of money to dig these rose bushes up.
Really?
Mother's Day, I mean, I'm talking like, put the shovel in, pry up, rose
them
bushes
out.
are gone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it took me 15 minutes. She didn't give me $80. I was there 8 minutes. And I was like, no, I'm not taking this. No, you take it or you don't come back. I was like, okay. So I took the $80. You know, back then I was rich.
Yeah.
Well, Mother's Day was that weekend. I took those 3 rose bushes straight to my mom's house. I dug a hole, planted them. Hey, and she was just like, this is amazing. And I was just like, I got paid. And I didn't have to throw them away. I planted them. I think they're still there to this day. So I was like, happy Mother's Day. But one time I got a a street light when I worked at Ozarks Electric. Old busted up street light. Mom always wanted a street light. I found one, got busted up, took it to her. It's still in her yard to this day. Gets dark, street light comes on. I mean,
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Mother's Day has always been like, how can I get something that didn't cost me an arm and a leg that'll have a shitload of meaning to my mother?
Well, I think
And then tell them the story afterwards, you know, like,
The steak knives, though, that crazy.
yeah, oh yeah, that was good.
That's great, but it's special to you.
Yeah.
I think it's gotten so commercialized that it's like it's obligated.
Yeah.
You know, you got to do this thing, but that's really cool that you have that. No, I love that.
And a misdemeanor.
Well,
You know, I'm going to get served papers from Outback Inc. now.
yeah, I got to do some research into admission to crimes on podcasts.
Yeah, I think that, so, see, I'm 42 now, it's 19. I think the statute of limitations,
statute.
we're good on that one.
Yeah, just that's why I always try to say this is all.
You
a
need
video
like
game.
you need like a remote where we can like, hey, cut it and I'll tell the story and then we'll kick back on. Then what the fun with a podcast would be,
Well,
right?
so the way I do it is I usually, well, you know, even if you're sober and you have a conversation, you're not going to remember everything that's said. You're going to remember the high points,
Sure.
right? So the way I do it is I just let it all roll, and then I edit, you know, the beginning, piss breaks, the end,
Sure.
and just get it clean, and then I post it and schedule it to release.
So if you need to piss, just go ahead.
I didn't know. Yeah, I was
just
sort of
go, you gotta go.
I'm not a camel, but you know.
No, this is a good enough crew. Some people, if you're like, you got to stop for pee breaks because your guests can't handle it.
Oh,
you know?
okay, keep
But
going.
like, if you got people like you guys, I can just get up.
Yeah.
Hell, I could probably take my kids to the fucking football game and come back and y'all still be going. You know what I mean? But so it's kind of depends on who it is. But I don't edit anything as far as what's said in the pod. But I always do listen to it first.
Yeah.
Just before it airs.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, just to make sure in a different headspace.
You remember talking about that dead body? You probably shouldn't have said that. You know, let's cut that out of there.
Yeah. He buried that body out back at Grandma's barn. I was like, oh, no, we got to get rid of that. You can't.
Yeah.
Jokes, people. You always got to remind. People clip shit out of context. That's my biggest fear if this gets any bigger. It's like people clipping shit out of context.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I've been
just-
there.
Have you
I
experienced
worked. So I told you earlier that I worked at Devil's Den State Park
Yeah.
when I was 14 years old. Well, me and another guy, our job was we had to clean the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Right. So we're in there cleaning the bathroom.
Peek myself.
I'm telling my coworker about a dream that I had had the previous night.
Oh,
I'm 15.
dear.
Oh, I know what kind of dreams you have at 15.
No, you don't. I dreamed that I robbed a bank. Okay, so I'm telling my coworker about this dream that I had, and that like I'd robbed this bank, and the security guard tried to stop me, and I shot him right in the fucking face.
Wow.
Killed him dead.
Man.
Right? What, unbeknownst to me, there was a dude having a shit in the bathroom that I was cleaning. Okay, so got rocks on. 2 days later, Washington County deputies show up at the state park, go find the superintendent of the park. The superintendent and the county deputy come find me, wanting to know what I know about a bank robbery. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
It was my first dream that I had when I woke up. My underwear was stuck together. I'm sorry. I was 15 and it was a bank robbery, but that's what did it for me.
So, yeah, people took, like the dude that was in there taking a shit, heard me telling about a dream, took it as literal, called the cops, told them that he had overheard, admission to a bank robbery, that I'm fucking 15. I'm cleaning bathrooms at a state park.
Well, that's like the Home Depot.
Oh, yeah.
The bomb threat?
Yeah, the bomb
When
threat.
he goes in the bathroom, he's like, I'm about to blow this thing up.
Yeah.
I said Taco Bell. And they called it a bomb threat.
Yeah.
And the cops thought it was funny. They were like, this is great, man.
I got the cops called on me for a dream.
You're talking about getting stuck to your shorts. I remember being at a very young age, 14, maybe 15, and having a wet dream, if you will. But it was the most fantastic set of events that led me to, like I was on the plane with a Native American girl, and it was just the two of us somehow.
Young Indian squaw.
I didn't want to say it, but you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
You said it, and he was damn sure thinking it.
She was 18.
Yeah.
But anyway, and things started getting
Nothing
heated.
but a loincloth.
And I'll never remember waking up and wanting to go back to that dream so bad. Like we didn't get there.
Yeah.
And you're like trying to go back.
I've been there.
Even if you can go back,
Yeah,
to
it's a different dream.
Yeah, it's a different dream.
Yeah.
But have you been there where you're like desperate to go back? To
Oh
that
yeah.
dream?
Maybe not a wet one, but
Yeah.
certain dreams that were just
Certain
super cool.
dreams,
I want to see how it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Except the dreams where you fall. Don't want to see. They say if you follow that all the way through, you're done.
I don't believe that.
I don't either. But I don't want to find. I don't want to find out the hard way.
What?
You never had the dreams where you're falling off a building?
Yeah.
Well, they say people have said before that if you follow that through, you don't wake up before you smash the ground. You actually, you will die. Well, I don't believe it either, but I'm not going to test the theory.
Well, you can't help it.
Yeah,
You're asleep.
Yeah.
Your brain does it.
Do you think
sure.
your dreams mean anything?
Man,
I've
I was
wondered
young.
some shit back, still to this day.
When I was younger, I'd say no, but the older I get,
I'm with you.
There are. I don't want to get into them, but yes, I think
Do it?
I, in my experience, I have noticed some weird shit. Well, you said you thought maybe so, Jeff.
Well, yeah, man. Like I'll have a dream about. It's almost like the smartphones, man. You'll start talking about something, and then your smartphone picks it up, and it's on your phone. I'll have dreams about shit I hadn't thought about in a long, and it may be just random shit, you know. And then boom, there it is. I'm like, this is weird.
But it almost tells a story about it sometimes.
Yeah.
It'll take you in almost on a journey surrounded about this idea that you have.
Yeah.
It's almost like midnight therapy, man. It's like you're working through shit in your sleep.
Like if I have a dream that I've got the winning Powerball numbers, like I'm going and I'm punching in those numbers. I'm gonna try the best to remember in the dream. If I'm out $2, you know. What if it is, right?
Let me tell you something happened to me this week. So I'm working up harmonies on this song I'm doing on Gals coming on next week, and so I'm trying to learn these harmonies, and they're tough. It's Sam Cooke, so it's back old school shit,
Yeah.
and they got some underneath harmonies that are just insane. I'm trying to learn them, and I started late, and I'd already been drinking a few, so I was like, fuck it, I'll do it tomorrow. So I go to bed, I wake up the next morning, and they're all there, like I can nail it, every single one of them. And like I went to bed frustrated, like I heard them, and I was just like not quite on the same pitch and rhythm, but I woke up and it was all there. It was like in my sleep, somehow there was a
download.
coalition or something, dude. It was weird, and it's still with
I
me.
guess that'd be an upload.
And I'll wake up, like, even since I've been working with the gas company, I'll wake up in the middle of the night, and just instantly my brain's like, I didn't do this at work.
Isn't it hard
I
to go
forgot
back
to
to sleep?
Yeah, I forgot to turn the water hose off.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Whether it be work related or
Yes.
I didn't, take the pressure test off or
Yeah.
some shit like that. It's just weird. It's weird how the brain works, man.
You think that's everybody? Or just
No,
men?
I don't think anybody's really. I mean, I don't.
Well, I'm just saying what you were talking about. Like, if I wake up and I'm like, I got to do this tomorrow, I hadn't thought of this.
Yeah.
Then I can't go back to sleep. So
Yeah.
I don't want to forget this. So like, and then I'll dwell on it or something. I can't go back to sleep. You do that? No. You a good sleep?
When I go to sleep, I go to sleep for good.
You wake up earlier than you used to?
I'm a really good sleeper.
He's seasoned.
I'm seasoned.
Seasonal.
See, I'm a morning person, man. I love the morning, man. Breakfast is my favorite meal. But
really?
the problem with me is, like, if I stay out drinking with my buddies, I mean, hell, I watched the sun come up cleaning those catfish the other night. And I still, like, 8 o'clock, I was up. I was like 2 hours sleep. But my body just, it's time to get up. It may be a little bit later, being as I went to bed at nearly 7, maybe 9, but I'm like, no. 2 in the afternoon's cool with me, man. I had cleared my whole Saturday for 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon. Everybody's like, nope, sun's up, time to go. And I blame my mom for that shit.
But if you're on a regular schedule and you go to sleep and you don't have an alarm, you can sleep as late as you want. When will your body wake you up?
6:30.
7:30.
I'm about 7:30.
Yeah, mine's.
I was on vacation last week, and we'd go to bed anywhere from 11 to midnight, and every morning 7:30.
Yeah. Like if I wake up and it's 8, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get up.
Yeah,
I'm wasting the day. over
sure. My mom used to jerk the covers off of me when I lived with her when I was a kid. And that's what she said. You're wasting the day.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I planned on wasting the day. I was at Rocking Bowl till 2 a.m.
This was a wasted day.
I chalked it off. Don't have to work today, man. At the IGA, man, in Farmington, I don't have to work. Stillwell's working for me today, so.
Yeah, dude. We can have you and him on.
Oh, yeah, man. We can tell stories.
Man, that's what it's all about, the stories, because those don't get passed down. Not always. And even if they do,
some of them for legal reasons, too. You know what I mean?
that's why we say, kids, all the stories are fiction.
Yeah.
None of our opinions are true.
Exactly.
Passed down to who?
Anybody.
My kids couldn't give a shit less about mine Jeff Hunt stories.
And we have
They-
got
they
some
had-
dandies.
10 years after you're dead, they might.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not for you
Yeah.
or them until they need it.
well, like, Burl's stories, Gary's grandpa. I mean, we still got videos of him talking. I mean, we
that's
were
so
we were
special.
latched in. It was like, it reminds me of that Montgomery Gentry song. Where they were wide-eyed on the floor listening to him speak.
Yeah.
And that's why we had our phones out. We're just like,
Yeah.
this man has got some stories that just blow your mind.
Yeah.
And we locked on every word. I don't think kids these days.
My kids couldn't give a shit about our stories.
Yeah. And I think that
I don't know.
too.
Do yours, Jeff?
Well, sometimes I don't think they do, but now that my oldest daughter is dating a guy who's a little bit like myself. He's country, hunts, fishes,
Yeah.
does all this goofy shit, and a lot of times when I thought they weren't paying attention, she was like, "Oh, Dad, tell him the story when you did this," and I'm like,
Aha.
"You just played dumb. You were paying attention. You're a little bit like your father,
I've got boys and they are interested. Like,
Yeah.
They'll tell them. They'll know the stories.
Yeah.
But they'll also say, "Dad, you've told me this. You tell the story every time we go to wherever it is."
Oh yeah.
You're like, God, and I used to get so annoyed with my parents. Like, you've told me this. Like,
I do that to my mother. She repeats herself over and over and over.
but so do I.
And then so do I.
Yeah.
And I'll do it to her, and then she'll eat my ass out. Like, oh man, oh see, I'm not the only one. I'm like, oh god.
I had a moment with my mother recently about that. I was always saying how judgy she was. And one night she popped back. She was like, "You're as judgy or judge than I am." And I was like, "That's fair." It's just,
I was
just about what you're judging.
was talking to, and you can ask anybody. You guys still will. He knows real. I'm a huge card carrying member of the Mama Boy Club, man. My mom's basically raised me my whole life, right? Well, she wants to get to telling me what's wrong with me. Here's your problem. And I'm like, well, I learned it from watching you. It's like remember the old marijuana? Where'd you get this? The old marijuana commercial. He's like, where'd you get this? I learned it from you. I learned it from watching you. And then it would, parents that do drugs have kids that do drugs. And I'm like,
yeah.
I've learned this from you.
Yeah.
You
I do
have.
remember those
I was
names.
like, my mom has no problem telling me what's wrong with me. But the minute I try to explain to her, hey, here's what's wrong with you, it's like, well, here's what's wrong with you. And I'm like, well, you wait a minute. And then I was like, I learned this from you. You know this,
That's
right?
funny. I find it hard to talk to that generation or maybe my own parents. There's just something, feels like a divide.
I found
Something happened in our generational gap.
I found now that it's easier for me to talk to my parents now that I've raised kids.
I think I'm getting there too
Yeah,
because I'm
'cause
raising
I'm like-
kids. Because you can relate to what your parents
Yeah.
went through, and they can see that you've gone through this
Yeah.
journey too, and you're kind of on a similar level.
Right.
Is that what it
Except
is?
for the fact of the grandparent softness. So my mom ruled with an iron fist, right? You fucked up. You
Right.
got in trouble at school, you're going to get in trouble at home
Yeah,
3
yeah.
times worse. Fast forward, my kid's fucking up at her house, and I'm fixing to bust her ass.
7 minutes.
I'm about to bust my daughter's ass, and she was like, hey,
Thanks.
don't spank that kid. And I said, what do you mean? Don't you spank that kid here. And I said, what would you have done if I would have just done that in your house? Oh, I'd have beat your ass. And I was like, you stay out of this. This doesn't
Right.
pertain to you.
Right.
This is me disciplining my kid. You just grandma now. You sit over there, shake them up, spoil them, then send them back home. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like grandparency. Is that what it's called?
Well, it is today.
It is today.
I feel like it's a long way off, but at the same time, I got people my age have grandkids.
Oh shit!
You know, like a lot of people I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, you know, I guess biologically it could be a
Oh
possibility.
yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So technically I could be there. Any knock on something for me, brother. Fuck, shouldn't have said that out loud. But anyway, it's just but it is a different thing.
Yeah.
And having not been a grandparent, I don't know what it's like, but there is definitely a softening.
Oh yeah.
Well, see, I've seen them like the softening with my siblings, because my youngest sibling was born in '96. I was born in '79. You can do the math.
Whoa, that's a gap.
Yeah, I was 19 when he was born. Okay, I was already out of the house and married on my own when my baby brother was born. The way my dad treated me versus the way he treated that one is totally different. Totally different.
Was it?
What do you think it was, man? Were you just a list?
well,
Were you just like a homebody?
Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam did it?
Mm-hmm.
No, I
My
was
dad
just.
was fresh out of the Marines.
Oh, I was just
when
thinking.
when you were
Yeah.
young.
When I was young, my dad was fresh out of the Marines.
Oh no, I'm wondering about the age gap.
Well,
You just didn't go to your friend's house or nothing. You just always home and listening, you know. So they're like, okay, Scott's grown up, married, moved out of the house. Listen to have sex. You know?
well, I mean, there's 2 others between there.
They're all grown up, moved away. Let's have none.
Yeah.
Let's at least practice. And it was like, uh oh.
Well, there's 2 more in between me and the baby, so.
I probably shouldn't tell this on a podcast. We'll see.
The good deal is you have the power to edit it
I
out.
can,
You
that's
know?
why we will never do one of these live. But well, I remember my mom. I remember learning what sex was, you know, and how babies were made. I don't remember how old I even was, and so my grandma had shit. How many kids she got? She got like 5 kids, right? And I was like, so that means grandma's had sex at least 5 times.
5 whole times.
She got 5 kids.
Exactly right.
That's young kids. At least.
That's disgusting.
That is,
right?
That
You
is
know.
disgusting. What beastly things they had to do to make these children. I was talking to an old dude at work the other day. You know, I don't know him too well, but I asked him if he had kids, and he's like, "No, we're working on it. You know, we're trying right now." And he goes, "And you know, even if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna have fun practicing." And I was
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. Damn right. Yeah.
Goddamn right.
Oh, and mine.
You used to that as a young man, practicing for having kids, and then
Yeah.
the kids get here, and you're
So
like,
the best
"Can
part
we
is
practice again?"
Yeah.
It's like, no, there's no time to practice now. We got them.
when my youngest was 2 years old, I got fixed, and I was just like, we wanted a boy, right? I'm 0 for 2, right? I'm not one to strike out. I really, really, really did not want 3 girls.
Well,
so
yeah,
I was
then
just
you're
like,
really
you know what?
yeah.
Cut my loss.
You're outnumbered.
We'll hope for a tomboy. It's the best we can do now. So, but you know, it's a neat party trick, man. You're just like, this thing's unloaded. I can point it at anybody I want to. And they're like, you're disgusting, Calvert. And I was like,
You've been told
nice
that a
to
lot.
meet you. Oh yeah, man. Just like every party I've ever been to.
Well, we moved in here in October of 14 and found out in December we were pregnant with 3. And so it was like, man, that's a ill-timed thing,
Yeah.
you know? And it was a major freak out because you already got 2 kids and 660 square feet for who knows how long.
Yeah.
You know, the first time I came here, you were living in this.
Yeah, because that would have been like
It's when Tyree got married.
Tyree got
which I
married,
really
yeah.
thought odd that he didn't remember I was there at his wedding. I mean, I guess maybe.
he didn't remember either of us were there.
That's a damn good reception
point.
or wedding or.
Because we played at mine, well, not you, but like Durham played at mine, and Durham played at Gary's. Nobody played at Johnny's, but you and I played at Nate's.
Yes.
Because that was after the last Durham show.
Yeah. Well, no, it's after the Battle of the Bands.
I remember that night.
Yeah. Do you remember what song we played?
Jeff does. What song was that, Jeff?
Volbeat?
No.
No.
The Honeybee song.
Honeybee.
What?
Yeah, that
I
is
looked
the
it up
song,
the other
right?
day. Yeah.
Down, down like a honeybees. Yeah, that's what we did.
No.
I were a
Not the-
flower and you were a something. He was
Yeah.
on one of those silly movies.
It was on a movie. It was off a soundtrack.
It wasn't Mama Rock Me.
No, it was Honeybee.
That's
And
the
it
name
was
of
off
the
of
song?
it was off of a soundtrack that had a single word name. I'm getting closer.
We need a producer.
Yeah, I know. We're
That's what
failing.
oh, I gotta check the time. I gotta watch Trump's speech tonight.
Yeah,
Love or hate him,
Think
dude.
it's
I gotta see what he's gonna
I think
say.
it's going to be epic.
I don't know. I'm interested to see. He's had a brush with death now. I think he thought he was invincible. And now it's like, motherfucker took a shot. It's just wild times, dude. Like, you couldn't, if this was in a movie, or if this was a season on Netflix, you'd be like, what the fuck ever. That could never happen in real life. That's where I feel like we're at right now.
Yeah. Obviously, that's circling around the water cooler, you know. And my take on it is I believe nothing I hear and only half of what I see when it comes
I mean,
to
that's a
politics.
fair place to be.
So,
Fair place to be.
to say that was a, quote, lone wolf, you will never convince me of that.
Oh, there's no. Well, it doesn't matter how many wolves there were. That building was unsecured, and you don't have to be a military strategist or love Trump to say that was a failure of any kind of, like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
If you're having sex with your wife in the backyard, you got better, you know where your vantage points are, and you've checked them out. I mean, not that I've done that. I'm just saying.
Not that I'm admitting to
You've
anything.
never had sex in the backyard with my wife?
With your wife?
Once again, I'm not admitting to anything.
Hey, this show is for entertainment purposes
Yeah.
only. If you
Just
use
for
our
laughs.
advice or take our advice or listen to us in any way, you're
Don't
the
take
idiot.
my advice
You're
unless
the
it's
idiot.
good places to go
You're
out
not
to
trying
eat.
this at home.
Do not try this at home, people.
Disclaimer.
Disclaim. Now,
we need a disclaimer, and then the explicit lyrics, that come on the old CDs from Hastings in the corner.
God, do you remember people stealing from Hastings?
Oh gosh.
From where?
Like, it was a profession. There
Yeah.
were certain kids in the school from Hastings.
Oh.
And then Walmart, initially you could just take them out, and then they put the little strips in,
Yeah.
the magnetized strips. So when you walk through, it buzz. But then they started putting these little locking mechanisms on the CDs.
You got to go back even farther because at a while they had the plastic thing on the CDs that was about that long.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember those
You
at
have to
Walmart.
get
Yeah,
them out.
Walmart had them.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
when you pulled the CD
That's
out,
right.
you also pulled 12 inches of plastic frame out.
And kids, this will blow your mind. Walmart used to have fish. There was,
And
there,
gerbils.
Yeah.
And shit. They had a whole pet
Lobsters.
department.
yeah.
My mom would leave me in the
Can't
pet
find a
department.
gerbil anywhere these days.
Well, that's surprising being in Fayetteville.
Yeah, right?
You think
What is it, Theo Vaughn?
it'd be-
Theo Vaughn would talk about he would go to these raves and sell these G-hamps or the fucking guinea pigs and the hamps. He said he'd go outside. He said these people be all blasted out of their mind. He said he'd sell the shit out of hamsters and guinea pigs.
Good Lord.
Dude, I was laughing like an idiot
Y'all
listening.
remember that South Park where the gerbil went into Slave's ass? Did you ever see that one?
That's probably one of the few ones I've missed.
Really? You've been watching the newer shit?
No, it's been a long time. Like I tried to the other day, and I was like, I gotta go pick cucumbers out of my garden.
Really, man. That's the only show I've ever seen the pilot episode for and stuck with all of it.
Really?
Usually I get into
South
shows
Park?
like yeah, South Park.
I used to love the fact that there was a message in all the shenanigans. Right, there was
Yeah.
always a message.
Yeah. And you might not agree with it all the time.
Yeah,
But like
but it was,
they were willing to take
you understood what the message was
you
by the time
understood
you
what the
watched.
message was, and they were willing to poke fun at both sides.
Sure.
At all sides.
It's like
At
Dave
everybody.
Chappelle.
Nobody was safe. Chappelle, man, you remember being like, what were we, 20, 21, 22, when Chappelle's show was on?
Mm-hmm.
And like whatever
Loved
night, it was Wednesday nights, people would congregate for
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit.
Loved it.
Like we'd get together to watch Chappelle.
Absolutely. Oh,
It's
that-
like the new
I mean,
episode's coming on. But it
Still to
only
this
lasted-
day, I'd love to get together to watch. That dude's retarded.
Dude, we ought to do a watch party one night. Just binge a season. one
That'd be
night.
awesome.
Drink some beer.
One of my favorite ones.
Clayton
Is,
Bixby.
yeah.
That was the first episode. That was day one. That was the first sketch.
And the music, like when they finish up, like at the Grammys, when you've talked too long, they put the music.
Yeah.
And he was banging his wife, and she was like, "Can you wrap it up?"
Wrap
He
it up.
said, "He's like, oh, I'm about to psych."
Psych. You remember the sex contract?
I don't know if
You
I
had
do
to,
or
like,
not.
you'd sign away your, because back then, there's probably pre-Me Too, but kind of like, if you went too far or something,
Yeah.
you get in trouble. And so he had this contract, and she's going through it, and you're checking off options, and it came to the anal box, and he looks at her, and he's like, and she's like, X's through it, and he's like, hey. He had the play hate his ball.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Oh yeah. When keeping it
Ashy
real
Larry.
goes wrong.
Keeping it real
Yeah.
goes wrong. That might be one of his best sketches.
And when slow motion don't look better, he's taking a shit. It's like it blows him up.
Well, there was a bunch of slow motion ones.
Yeah.
He had several different. Those were all good.
I loved all his stuff, man.
He had
His stand up is top. I will always put him in the top 3 comedians of all time.
Who are the other two?
Huh? Richard Pryor.
Solid.
Yeah, I would say probably Richard Pryor being number 1,
Oh, you got one more.
and Dave Chappelle.
You've already said him. You didn't count.
Yeah,
Come
I'm
on,
just saying,
one more.
I would say
Yeah.
probably 2 for Dave Chappelle.
You're like the head of Secret Service over here. You want to answer the fucking question? Come
Yeah, I
on.
know.
Commit, Scott.
Slow proof.
Who?
Slow proof.
Sloped.
You said Secret Service.
Oh, sloped through. God damn it.
I don't know.
Don't rile me up.
No.
Let me tell you, one of my faves is when she gets on a roast. Is Nikki Glazer.
Man, did you see her on Theo Vaughn after the roast where she was telling jokes that she cut?
Huh?
You need to watch it if you liked her comedy.
She's solid, man.
But I don't like her stand up.
I watched her stand up. I wasn't impressed. The roast, and I don't think like Jeff Ross. She was talking one time. Like Jeff Ross writes a lot of that stuff. He's
There were a lot. Did you watch the credits on the writers? There was like 20.
Yeah, there's a
writers
bunch
in that.
of
There's a bunch.
But they Tony Hinchcliffe
He
Killed it.
knocked it out of the park.
Is it true? Well, I know it's true because I saw him say it on Rogan. But he basically said he didn't tell anybody that he was going to do all that,
That's genius.
and just went up there, or at least he didn't tell them all of it. I got to go back and listen to the story, but a lot of that he had not told the producers like he was going to do, and he killed it.
Element of surprise, man. That's what a roast is,
Do you
man.
watch Kill Tony?
I see clips on.
Do you watch the actual show or the clips?
The clips.
Okay, because I only know one dude that can like watch the show because it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Really?
The comedian. Have you seen like an episode?
No, I haven't watched it. I'm going to after this
Facebook reel.
podcast.
Well, so you know the premise of what they do.
Yeah, draw a name
So there's
on a
like
hat.
250 comedians in
Yeah.
a club that put their name in a hat and they draw a name out, and so they get 60
1 minute.
60
60
seconds
seconds,
uninterrupted
Yeah.
to basically do comedy in front of a live audience and the host, and it's usually Tony, and he'll have a couple comedians.
Sure,
guests.
yeah. Shane
so-
Gillis.
Shane's been
Yeah.
on. He was on as Trump.
Oh, I watched that clip, man. It was great.
Yeah. I've only seen the clip too. Here's a funny story. So I went to watch the whole episode. So like Shane's on it.
Yeah.
I watched one 60-second performance, and it was embarrassing. And the guys were like, "How long you been doing this?" He's like, 8 years. And they're all like, "Oh, bro, that
Yeah.
was awful."
Take up golf.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to watch because these people are giving it their all,
Yeah.
and they're putting themselves out there, and more times than not, they're awful.
If they had a Kill Tony for my guitar playing, that's what it would be. They're just like, oh.
Well, I also wanted to ask you tonight, before it escapes me, what made you pick up the guitar?
I got my first guitar when I was 16 years old.
How did you get it? Why did you get it?
I got it for Christmas. I just wanted one. I wanted to learn to play. My grandpa played. I never really got to hear my grandpa play. He never sat down and played with it, but I always just thought it was cool, man. I was just like, I want to. And my mom sings like an angel. Like, she can sing like nobody's business. And I always grew up singing this and that and the other. And then a little bit older, 14, 15, your voice starts cracking, whatever. But I realized, people tell me, you don't sing that bad. I thought, if I could learn to play the guitar. And I had that motherfucker collecting dust until, I don't know, 20 years ago?
It ain't been that long, dude.
But I couldn't.
Because 10 years ago, you knew one song.
Yeah, I couldn't play and sing at the same time. How's that uncoordinated?
Well, that's a different skill set.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of
like
people
so.
who
Me and
can't.
Gary, when me and Gary, we've been friends since we were 7 years old. We played the drums together. We were in the percussion in the band, and then he got his drum set when he first started playing the trap set. And I'm like that monkey with the cymbals. Arm goes down, foot goes down. I couldn't, off the beat. I couldn't do it. I still to this day can't do it. But I would just strum the first chord and then start singing because I could. After that, I was worthless. But and then more and more people were like, "Hey man, you sing pretty good." And I was like, I wasn't one of those was going to jump on American Idol. Like my friends told me I could sing good. Here I am. They're like, "Ooh boy, they lied to you."
That's a no for me, dog.
And then I'd fart around with YouTube and stuff, and then.
So is that how you taught yourself? It's on
Pretty
YouTube?
much, yeah.
On
Yeah, that's
chords
it.
and
Yeah.
stuff?
I remember Randy Peoples, a good friend of mine. He taught me the D, G, and A to start with, and then everything after that was straight YouTube.
You know what's interesting is my dad showed me my chords when I was way too young to play. I was like in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
He wanted me to play guitar, and it was like I was listening to Vanilla Ice and MC
Sure.
Hammer. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. But like I did learn them. I learned my chords. So in 7th grade, you got Pearl Jam, Nirvana, all that.
Oh
shit's
yeah, the
coming
good
out.
stuff, man.
Yeah, and it's like that sounds doable, And he helped me kind of refresh my chords, and they came back. Like I remembered the positions and stuff. And I remember just spending hours a day. But it's like a teacher can only teach you so far. At some point, you got to teach yourself.
You gotta want it and
You
want to
gotta
go
want
for it.
it.
Yeah.
That's why I've been so impressed with my middle one. It's like he doesn't want to just drum when I'm home, like when we can play. Like he's doing it all day.
He
long.
wants to drum while I'm asleep.
Yeah. That's why these electronic kits are so great. Cause you got the headphones, dude. Because you can hear that shit next door. It's. Thank God it's not
We
the
could
same
hear y'all
building.
playing when we turned off
Yeah.
the main road.
Could you really?
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't doubt
No,
it.
he's
Well, it's funny because it's like how nice is it to have a building that's not in the house, but holy shit, those parents that have drums in the house.
Well, I know Gary's parents are ready to kill him.
Where are they?
Gary's parents are ready to kill him now for shit, the
Yeah.
sleep deprivation from 20 years ago. Or longer. I mean, it's been
sure,
longer
man.
than that, man.
Yeah.
Gary beat the shit out of them things all the time.
Oh.
Because me and Gary lived in the same neighborhood, and I'd walk to his house, and I'd leave my house. I could hear him just beating the hell out of him.
Some bitch is good though.
Oh, he's solid, man.
Like not even a little bit good. A lot
He's
good.
solid, yeah.
I told him on the Durham cast when he came out that one thing I love about his drumming is that he never really repeats himself. Like he's always looking to do something different.
Yeah, oh yeah, he'll amp it up,
He's
man.
not just a one of those backbeat kind of guys. Like he puts thought into it.
Have you ever been on a real road trip with him?
No.
I don't know how the steering wheel, if he's driving, holds up. 'Cause he's drum solo into every fucking song.
Oh, is he did tell me one time, he was like, the cool thing about being a drummer is you can practice in the car.
Oh yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? He's like, if you just learn to kick with your left foot, you can do all the stuff with your hands.
Yeah.
And I started doing that.
Yeah, he's
But he almost got killed doing it. He's swerving all over the road, you said?
no, he just drum solos everywhere you go. I mean, it'll get quiet. I'm just
What do you
like,
think about this new getting in front of the mic thing with him? That's pretty cool.
dude, I thought his mom was gonna have a meltdown. She was sitting right next. He's so good, my baby. And I was like, yeah, man. Gary can sing, man.
He
He's
can.
been lying to his parents this whole time. A lot of
just needs
times,
confidence,
yeah,
man.
a lot of
He
times
can.
he'll hold back, and you can tell he's holding back. And I'm like, dude, let it out, man.
That's what we
Just let
told
it
him.
out, man.
We were like, dude, if you just let it go, don't worry about it, you'll be fine. And
It's
he
almost
did.
like the duck call when you were trying to teach me about how to blow a competition duck call. He's like, just open your throat, man. Just let it go. And like a lot of times when he'll sing, I'll be like, it's like half there, and I'm like, you need to get fucked up. Is what you need to do, and just be the goofy wild Gary, and then sing it because. I mean, that performance was amazing. I was just like,
I've got
hey,
videos
man.
on my phone when he was drunk, and he really belts it out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when he goes at it. Yeah. It's funny. When we were doing the Durham cast, Caitlin asked what our favorite songs to cover were, and mine were the two ones Gary sings. I gotta find the fucking kit, man. And I'm not very good, but we're learning together. You know, he's playing guitar, asking Johnny questions. It's like, it's funny. It's interesting. We didn't have this back in the day.
You know,
New
that would,
thing for us.
that
It's
would be
like-
cool, man. Y'all just sit there and rotate, man. Everybody knows, you know. It's
Well,
like,
Johnny's actually a really good bass player.
oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
He's-
I figured Johnny's like
Christ
Ricky
on the guitar.
Ricky Skaggs. You know, if it had got strings on it, he could probably play
He's
it.
top 1%.
Yeah, I mean,
he's very
he's-
humble though. When
he's
you give
incredible.
him, like when you tell him he's good, he's one of those
Yeah.
guys like, I mean, no, I'm not like these guys, and names them off. It's like, no, you actually are because you can play their shit.
Man,
You know, and he writes good shit. Like we got a lot of original shit, and he wrote those songs.
yeah.
That's him, man.
Well, if y'all
Not be
if y'all
afraid of
ever
shit.
need anybody to help write stuff with like dirty, foul lyrics,
Yeah.
I'm your guy. Just hit me up.
I actually do have an idea. This might be fun.
Yeah.
I got
You
something.
don't know
Let's talk.
anybody that can take a song on the radio as it's playing
Yeah.
and dirty it up real time like this gentleman.
Oh
right
my
here.
Oh,
gosh.
I've heard stories. I
It's-
don't know that I've experienced it in real time. but
It's
I've heard he's legendary.
it-
I used to do that. Me and my
well,
buddy
I
Dan
did
Garland
that
used
at the
to-
Gypsy that night
Did
with
you?
the Steve Miller. Because I remember Jason Fisher was down in the crowd, and I said, I'm a
did.
picker, I'm a sinner, I eat pussy after dinner.
Yeah.
And Fish was just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? And,
What happened, Fish? Where is he?
Central EMS, I see him
I
around
know, but where is
every
he?
little once in a while. I don't know.
You don't come around anymore, Fish. What's going
Come
on,
on,
buddy?
man.
Just shoot me a text. Let me know you're alive.
Yeah.
His parents were at Nerdfest too.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. In fact, they're coming on the podcast.
Awesome.
Yeah. Pretty soon, actually. I'm coaching football this year, so I got to slow down here. So I'm hoping that I got enough in the bank where we can start editing. And I was telling you about the 10-minute clips.
Yeah.
We're going to try and start chopping them up and just getting those out there. And, you know.
Yeah, hey, man, when you asked me, I was excited. I was just like I said, I'm not excited about picking the guitar up where I know people are going to hear me. I'm getting better. I'm way better than I used to be because I would lock up solid, man. Like,
Do you think it's easier to play on a camera than it is in front of a crowd?
I'm getting better. I feel like I overthink it a lot. So I'm like,
In front, when? Like
both, either one.
Oh, either one.
So I've been working on it.
When was the last time you played that song for tonight?
Last night, getting ready
So
for
you did
Yeah,
rehearse
yeah, a little
okay.
bit, yeah. But when I'm by myself, I'll never mess it up.
Right.
Just in the house by myself, live by myself, just me. I never mess it up. And then just something about it, I just start spinning.
Yeah. You're overthinking it.
I've been that way my whole life. But you want to just sit and have a conversation, I'll laugh and joke with you and make, my famous one-liners or whatever, But you put that thing in my hand, I'm like, I'm like, I know what I'm trying to get to come out, but it
Do you
ain't
feel
coming
like
out.
if you did it more, you'd feel more comfortable?
Oh, yeah,
You
100%.
gain confidence
Yeah.
in doing it?
Like, I'll set that thing down and
Cheat code's 8 beers.
yeah. So yeah,
That's the magical number.
there's
8.
there's a fine line
Yeah,
between
it is 8.
It's knocking the edge off, and and I know a lot of people, a lot of rock musicians, stuff like that. They will just be blitzed out of their minds, coke and all this stuff, and they're playing.
It was flawless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a
'Cause
fine
they're on a
line to
different
where
frequency, man.
yeah, if I'm on, if I've had probably not 8 beers, but if I've had enough to knock the edge off, I get pretty solid then.
Well, it's like
where
playing poker
'Cause
on
you don't
beer. There's a
overthink it.
sweet spot to
Yeah.
where you're a little dangerous,
Sure.
but you're not, being totally
Yeah.
risky. You
But
drink
then-
too much and you're just.
if I get hammered, I'm just sloppy.
Yeah, you're
and
sloppy.
I can't. Well, after the Durham Fest, we got the guitars out in the yard, and William was like, "Sing." I was like, "I'm singing." He's like, "No, you're not. You're holding back." Opened up and fucking sing. I was like, "I'm fucking hammered. I'm trying. This is the best I got right now, man. I've been drinking whiskey all night long." So he was like, "Sing. I know you can do better." And I was like, "Nah, you don't know how fucked up I am right now."
.11 right in the fucking slot.
Yeah.
You watch Trailer Park Boys?
I've not seen much of it.
Okay.
I've seen like an or two episodes, but no, I don't watch it.
He blows
What's the
into
dude-
a
what's the
breath.
dude's name?
He blows into a breathalyzer. He keeps one with him all the time. He's like, I like to hover this around, 0.12 to 0.20. That's
Need a
right
little-
in the fucking slot.
Need a little
That's just
fucking
where-
top up.
Yeah.
Is that worth watching all the way through?
Trailer Park Boys. I've seen all 12
It's,
seasons twice.
For me, it's one of those like.
season. Well,
For me, it's one of those like, this is fucking stupid, and then you
That's-
find yourself laughing.
well, okay. I think it kind of hit real close to home for me. It was like to where it almost was like, yeah, it's not funny. Like we did that shit.
Yeah.
You know?
This is called junior high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the kind of shit we did. It was almost so relatable that it was like, I'm not ready for this yet.
Yeah.
Like I need to.
So you're right. You got to stay right in the fucking slot.
Man. And I'll get on,
Which
so,
is 8 beers.
Y'all keep the conversation going. I gotta get a snuff next door.
like, when I'll have beer and whiskey are so different.
Oh, me and
I'll
Brad have
drink-
talked about this a bunch.
Ooh. I'll feel fine drinking whiskey. I'm like, oh, I can drink more. I feel fine. And then Mike
then-
Tyson punches me in the
I'm
face.
not fine.
Who shit my pants?
Me and Brad actually talked about that last time I was on his podcast. And like, that's why, like, in a social setting, like when there's a lot of people around, that's why I don't drink liquor.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can regulate beer way better than you can regulate hard liquor. It's like, oh, look, we're going to have a good time. And then you're throwing up in the yard.
Yeah, I remember Chris used to tell me, I think you've had enough. And then I would take that personal. But I think I'll have 2 more. Shots of whiskey. She's like, oh, whatever you would go somewhere. She's like, whatever you do, don't drink Fireball tonight. And I'm like, that was my cue that you're finding Fireball somewhere. You're S&D behind the fucking tailgate of somebody's truck just to get a shot of Fireball. Just to prove to her you can do it. Before you know it, I'm throwing up. And I've shit myself.
Somebody pissed my pants.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I wake up the next morning feeling like death. And I'm like, she was right. She was right the whole time.
You don't ever tell her that.
No.
No.
Well, I tell her that now. Like, you don't need any more whiskey. And I'm like, I need 2 more now that you said that. And then.
I certainly don't have to worry about being any dead air while I was gone.
No.
No.
We had this talk last week while we were at the lake. So, Brad, how many beers have you had?
Right now?
Yeah.
I don't know, 6.
And
Nope, there's only 2 answers for that.
All right.
How many beers have you had? It's either, I need 1 more, or I've had 1 too many. That's your only 2 answers. Anytime anybody says, how many beers have you had? I don't know, I believe I could use 1 more. Or, I probably had 1 too many.
All right. So
Don't ever give a count. If you start
It's a
counting
status.
beers,
I disagree with that.
no?
Well, I mean, everybody's different, right?
Well, yeah, I'm
So,
not
like, I went fishing with my dad the other day. I'm in the boat.
Yeah.
And he was like, I brought us 5 apiece. I said, I won't drink 5. It's not possible tonight. I'm not feeling it. I'm not going to drink 5. Well, I drank 3. And my dad drank his 5, and he was wanting my other 2.
Okay.
And he was just like, oh, I was like, no, man. I could totally drink those 2, right? I wasn't feeling it. I was just like, no, you drink them. But yeah, my dad's always like that. When he says I brought us 10,
that means he brought you
him
3.
7 and me 3, yeah.
You know what's sad about me is I'm thinking, how could you ever stop at 5? That's how bad gone I am, Jeff.
I'll get to this point where I've been out to eat where I won't even drink 1. And I'm just like, I don't have anything. I'm not like, hey, I'm going to become an alcoholic. I just don't feel like it.
Yeah.
So, like, for me,
I don't know what that's like. Right?
for me,
I'm always gonna be for it.
it's like cold weather. I won't drink any beer in cold weather. I'll go straight to whiskey during cold weather.
Oh God, you
summer
still do whiskey?
Yeah, oh yeah, I drink a lot of whiskey.
Do you really?
Like, I drank a bottle of Buffalo.
Very impressive whiskey collection.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
I've,
do you feel like you can control it?
Well, sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I miscalculate the pour. So it's the same with food for me.
Sometimes I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's the same with
Put
me.
that on a t-shirt,
It's like it's like the food. It's portion control, man, and I'm not any good at that either.
Yeah,
yeah, man. No, I like to drink whiskey when it's cold because here lately, like
when it's cold, it like in winter.
cold outside,
Yeah, outside.
because beer just bloats me up. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm sticking out, out
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And I'm
It
just
does.
like, I don't like that
It
feeling.
does bloat you.
Something about summertime, like either I'm sweating it out,
Yeah.
something like that, it's better. But I won't hardly touch too many beers when it's cold out. I'll go straight to whiskey.
Do you mix it or you drink it straight?
Depends on what I'm drinking. Like Buffalo Trace, I'll mix it. It kind of depends on the setting I'm
So
in.
you're kind of a whiskey connoisseur.
Not really. I'm learning. I know what I don't get. I'm not one of those guys. I've got some friends of mine that like, I taste hints of gravel and lavender,
Oh, Jesus.
and I'm like, this tastes like
Okay.
whiskey.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's-
I got Tony Watson the other day, and Tony Watson's he's got an eclectic palate, so to say, and I told him I bought a bottle of Jack Daniel's single barrel, and I was like, I didn't care for it. I had I was with Jason Stillwell when we were working at IGA together. Our manager, we'd go over to our manager's house and drink Jack Daniel's. Had a bad experience with it. Don't like Jack Daniel's.
Yeah.
Anything from the Jack Daniel's. And he was like,
That's funny
yeah.
that you just chose Jack Daniels and not whiskey entirely.
Well, that's what they drank. Yeah, so like bourbon to me, I can totally you could put a glass of Jack Daniels and a glass of bourbon, and I can tell you which, hands down.
So what is the difference between whiskey and bourbon?
I don't really. I know that
I don't fully
So
understand it.
they don't call Jack Daniels bourbon because it's charcoal filtered, and I don't know if that's what gives it the weird, or if it's just the fact that I had some bad situations with it. Right.
Yeah.
So I've thrown up in this guy's yard a time or two, and I know what Jack Daniels tastes like. And I know I don't like it.
Your body doesn't like
Exactly.
Right.
But Tony's just like, oh yeah, you need to try the 12-year, and I'm like, I don't like Jack Daniels.
Right.
And he was like, no, it's just not like the Jack Daniels. With most Jack Daniels, you have the banana flavor, and I was like, not one goddamn time in my life have I ever taken a shot of Jack Daniels like. Tastes like bananas.
bananas.
Not once, man.
No.
Never has bananas ever crossed my mind. But
So is that a palate sophistication?
it's got to
thing?
be, man. And Ronnie's that way too. He's just like, oh, it's vanilla bean,
But isn't
and
that weird though? How people can be like, some people have musical ears. And they
Sure.
can hear things.
yeah, I can.
Some people have it with taste.
Yeah.
Like I don't have that. Like
And I always
Me and Jeff talk about that all the time with the whiskey. It's like, when I take a sip of whiskey, I either like it or I don't.
sure.
Yeah.
there's-
We've got buddies that
I
are
do
like,
agree with that. It's
Yeah.
binary.
It's me.
was that hints of cardamom and rose petal? It's like,
I didn't get the floral notes.
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey, that was
caramel,
good.
Peanut butter,
Oh, Jesus
with
Christ.
a creek gravel finish.
Have y'all ever seen the movie Perfume?
No, I don't watch a whole lot of TV. Period.
This is back, I don't know, early 2000s, but it was basically when Perfume was coming out, they had learned the science of capturing scents.
Yeah.
And there was a serial killer, and he was killing virgins and capturing their scent for the ultimate, perfume.
Oh.
And I think at the end he sprays it on himself in a public place, and the
Smells like that Nirvana song. Smells like Teen Spirit.
Yeah. This is
dude.
not far off, man.
But at the end, he sprays it on himself, and it makes him so desirable. The crowd around him eats him alive. It was a fucked up ending, but anyway.
You lost me there, man.
Sense of smell, sense of taste.
Yeah, man.
I feel like different people are on different frequencies with different.
And I
tastes.
feel like you could get into. I feel like you're on a different frequency with your music than I am, right? Because I pick it up here and there. I play around and play with these guys.
Well,
I mean,
it was
I come
my
in.
life. It was
I
my
come, yeah,
life
I
for a
come
long
in. You're
time,
jamming
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Like you probably have. You ever been turkey hunting?
A couple times with my
Okay,
grandpa. Not
so
regularly.
okay, I've killed 59.
Yeah.
Come April, or actually come February, I'm locked in. That's all I want to do. Eat, breathe,
See, if I was to
sleep.
go turkey hunting with you, I would look like an idiot.
No. I mean, just we'd have a good time, right? It's
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
you lock into the music where I pick it up every once in a while, just
Yeah.
like I lock into turkey hunting where you picked
I've
it up
been
every
a
once.
couple
Yeah,
times. Yeah,
So
big
it's all what people want to get into, and I feel like that with. You got your one friends that you want to say, hey man, I went and played slow pitch softball last night and got a little drunk, and this guy wants to talk about whiskey collection.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be just a little knowledgeable of lot of few things rather than try to be an expert on any one thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't have an eclectic palate, so to speak. I'm just like, so my buddy Ronnie, or our buddy Ronnie, is just like, well, you don't like hotter whiskeys, higher proof. And I'm like, no, I feel like whiskey's like hot sauce. Like, there's some hot sauces that are really spicy, that have great flavor. But I'm not going to drink this whiskey that just burns my esophagus all the way down to the core and just be like, oh, it's hot, I love it, you know. I feel like that relates, but he's got some buddies, that's all they do, man. They lock in on whiskey.
Yeah.
And they want to buy it all and taste it all, and that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. Everybody do your thing. But I'm just like, I didn't get the banana flavor of the Jack Daniels, not even a little bit.
Yeah. No, it's different. You're talking about, and I've, since doing Durham Fest in the pod, I've met some people who play guitar and sing, and like been talking about doing some jams with some people and doing stuff, and I do realize, like, I've been doing it so long, and I'm in this zone of the way Durham is and the way we write the music and the way it's got to be, you know, that it gives me a totally different experience, because I'm not used to just jamming around and learning new songs. And
I may not pick that up for 8 months. Just sit over there, collect dust.
But like, me and my son will play for an hour and a half.
I think it's
New
great.
songs,
Yeah, I think it's great.
You know, and it's brought me back alive into wanting to do it again. Now I got this, not only hunger, but I'm doing something productive, and he's doing something productive,
yeah.
and we're doing it together.
Right, yeah, no,
And it's
I mean,
it's a kind of lock in that, and I'm hard on him too, you know. I'm not like the dad that's like, oh, that was good, honey, when it sounded like shit. I'm like, son, I'm like, hey, that beat comes in later.
Not your best performance there, champ.
No, but he's also the first one to go, Dad, you jacked that last
That sounded like my kids.
That was, you know, but we go back and forth and we hold each other accountable, and that's what it's like being in a band. Like Gary told a story one time. He's like, if I mess up in practice, Brad's the first one. It's like,
yeah, cut them eyes
but
over.
if I fuck up, Gary's looking right at me too, you know.
I'm my biggest critic, because when I mess up, I'll just, like Scott said, I'll stop. Like,
How many
we
times
were
have I said, just don't stop. Just
Yeah.
keep going.
He didn't deny it.
No, he didn't.
I've been working on it.
Was it because he was on camera?
No, it's just because I've been trying not to stop. So, like, forever, all of our friends that would they're like, hey, do you know any whole songs? Like, not just pieces of them? Because I'll stop. I'll just stop.
Well, what's funny is when I was watching it, and I don't even think I noticed that you messed up, but your face.
Oh,
you
yeah.
kinda make
Yeah,
that
you,
face.
yeah.
And I was like, well, Jeff doesn't play a lot. He might stop and want to do another take, but he just kept rolling with it. And I was like, that's
I've been trying to, because, like, you know, Scott said, out of 500 people.
I've told you this too.
Yeah, I watched it on y'all's podcast when I was watching it. You know, maybe 5 or 8 might notice you mess up. Everybody else, you know. And I was like, well, those people aren't paying attention. You know, if you watch me,
it reflects on yourself.
Yeah, if you
I don't
watch
care
me,
what you think. I want to know that I did a good enough job.
That's what I was talking about before. I don't want to be unprepared.
Yes,
like when that guy asked me to play on stage in front of, he's like, dude, there's 5 fucking people here.
No, there were 7.
I think total, yeah, but he was just like, seriously, you don't want to play? And I'm like, no. He was like, there's 5 people in here, and there were 5 people actually eating, and nobody was paying attention.
Yeah.
But the first song I played,
it's a very vulnerable place you're putting yourself in.
Yeah,
first song
I played in the wrong capo.
In the wrong key. I'm like, I know god dang well we sang this B flat. He has not played a B flat.
And I think we had a big argument over it too. Yeah. I was just like, I played this song for years and fucking years, and I know exactly, son of a bitch, I was wrong.
I remember one time we were covering, I think it's I Want You to Want Me, but Hunker Down used to cover it. And we covered it. And I told Johnny, I was like, you know, Hunker Down's guitar player plays that chord wrong in this one spot. And he was like, oh, yeah, I know. He's like, why? I was like, why didn't you ever tell him? He's like, we get to play it better.
There you go.
I was like, God damn.
Yeah, don't let him know, man. You got to rock it out, man.
Yeah, dude, we're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Why would you tell somebody? You know, I don't know.
That's what I said.
I can go either way on it.
I feel like Jeff plays that No Justice song better than No Justice does.
He actually does. When I listened to that song, I was not impressed with that guy. And his melodies are all over the place. It sounded like the first take that they did in that song. I got what was there, And
Yeah.
if we do this again, I'd like to like.
You mean when we do this again?
Yeah. absolutely.
Come on, man.
Oh, I'm fucking planning, man. When we do this again, let's get something we can all three get involved in.
Absolutely.
And then have an arrangement, kind of like me and Scott. When we go on Nicole's show, we you know kind of get together and.
So
We never did do that Kid Rock song.
We still. Hey, it ain't too late.
We worked that thing over and over and over.
We
So,
did.
I
don't know
was
why we ended up
thinking-
not doing it.
when you wanted me to play a song, I was thinking, of course, that's one of my go-to songs. I play it all the time, you know.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable with it. And then you said, let's all play it together. And I was thinking, I wanted to be like, here it is. Here's that lead guitar riff. I love that when he just,
I learned that late.
yeah. And I was just
I did.
like, I want to be like, and I was like, and then here I am with the acoustic guitar, and I'm like, shut up, stupid! You don't know shit about music. So
No,
I just,
no.
but I love
No.
that. I love that lead guitar riff that
I
he
can
goes
learn
in the,
shit
in the
from
intro.
you because you're doing like I said, Durham is so focused on one sound and one thing,
Yeah.
right? That I close everything else off, and so I'm missing out on learning shit. Like I'm glad I learned that song. It was an interesting. It actually goes to a weird chord at the end of the. It's a neat song. You sound good.
I enjoy it, man. It's a
I
song.
think we do
that-
need to all work something up. Let's come up with something.
Yeah, man.
And then we'll rehearse, and I'd like to start doing.
And I
music.
really wanted to play at Durham Fest.
I asked you.
Well, I got too fucked up. I brought my guitar, but then shortly after, I got into the damn bourbon, and I got too fucked up. And I'm glad nobody said, "Hey, where's Jeff Calvert at?" Because I was over there with Jason Stillwell drinking tequila right out of the bottle, and I was going to be like, "No, it's not a
You
good
and
time
Still-
for me."
We need to get a pod with you and Stillwell on.
Yeah.
Hold up. What do you got going on August 3rd?
Oh.
Joe Rogan's doing a live. If y'all don't have anything going on, we're going to watch Rogan's special. He's doing a comedy special. Live. Like they did the Brady Roast.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was live. I think it's like 7 p.m. Central. Maybe it's 8. But we're going to watch the special live, and then we're going to do a podcast.
The third. I don't think
Saturday night.
I don't think I may have my kids to see.
Well, you got
I'll
kids
have
to worry
to-
about, but
Yeah.
check your calendar. I think we've been going for like 2 hours, haven't we?
Really?
Trump's about to come on, so I'm gonna
Well, thanks for having
wrap
me,
this
man.
bitch up.
Let's do this again.
Well, I think I'd like to do something musically with all three of us.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And we can do another pod after that.
Yeah,
We'll do
we
it like
can-
we did tonight. We'll do
we
a little
can-
musical deal.
We can get into
Then we'll do a
the.
pod.
We've got some fucking stories to tell, man. That'll
Oh,
blow,
I feel like we didn't even
blow.
get
Oh, we ain't
you
scratched
know,
the surface.
but ain't it crazy how 2 hours goes by so
Oh yeah,
fucking
man. I
fast?
was just like, I was thinking 30 minutes maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of myself. Thank you for having me.
Dude, I wanted to have you from day one. I was like, there were so many. It was wild starting this shit because you're like, you got to book it, you got to schedule it.
Yeah.
You can't just call these people day of, you know. So I'm like, some people had reached out. There's people I wanted to have on, and then it got to where like I kind of overdid it.
And shame on the people that turned you down.
Well, hey man, if they don't want to do it, there's a lot of people. My other the main reason people won't come on is because they're like, I don't have enough to say.
Jeff and I talked about this. He was like, "What's on the agenda?" I said, "There is no agenda." I was like, "Brad's super easy to talk to. You just start on one thing and
Yeah.
it just rolls for 2 hours."
And I could do this all day long.
Yeah.
Put
Well,
that
I know
thing
you
in,
could. That's
put
why I
that thing
didn't-
in my hand. I'll lock up solid. And so I mean, everybody's insecurities are
But
different.
I love
right?
that you did it. Thank you for playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks
Like-
for asking.
I feel like I got Jeff to play. I feel,
Yeah,
I feel
finally,
good.
man.
And it was a good take. It was a good.
I feel like you went to third base with me. You know, like the old junior high days. You took me to third base right there,
Hell
man.
yeah, baby.
Now I feel dirty.
Go all the way.
Maybe next time. You gotta buy me dinner first.
Yeah, I can do that. I might even call you the next day. We'll see. All right, gentlemen. Whatever episode this is.
Yes, sir. 7, I believe.
27.
All right.
Damn.
Hit up Stillwell if you want a koozie.
Koozie.
Yeah, we got.
Whoa.
You not seen these?
What?
Oh,
Brad Durham's Podcast and Couch official koozie. Stillwell said hit him up and he'll send you one. Like, subscribe, all that. But thanks for listening. We're gonna watch Trump.
What a koozie.
He's such a hoarding little bitch sometimes.
Who?
Stillwell.
I'm leaving that in the pod. I'm gonna leave that in.